Welcome to Fox Football Friday. We're here at Munson Stadium in Denison. It is Sherman and Denison, better known as the Battle of the Axe. Sherman coming into this game 3-1, Denison 0-4, but you know you can throw out the records when these two get together. Jeff Power and Travis Stewart joining you here on Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Angela Heyman down on the sidelines for us. And let's break down this game. What do you say, Travis?
Well, it's going to be interesting for a lot of reasons. As you said, Denison's coming in at 0-4, but you very aptly said you have to throw out the records. When you get to a rivalry this old, I mean, we're talking 100-plus years of history.
Yeah.
These two communities know each other so well. These play each other know each other so well. You just can't depend on your typical outcomes. You look at the matchup, head coach Gary Kinney, who made his fame at Canton before coming here to Sherman 3 years ago. This is his fourth season here. They're 3-1. Jeff, they've got a legitimate chance to win a state title this year. They're that talented. 43 points per game scored on offense. Really good quarterback in Drew Smith.
Yeah, no doubt. And then, of course, Chad Rogers on the other side with Denison. They've got themselves a good-looking football team. And as for the Wendy's keys to the game, what do you think?
The Sherman first quarter is going to be pretty critical because Sherman's offense moves the ball really quick and they can score fast. Denison's offense doesn't work that way. So if Sherman gets out to a quick lead, it's going to be very tough for Denison to come back. Steady improvement, Jeff. That's Denison getting better every week in their first season under new head coach Chad Rogers, who came over from Snyder. More improvement tonight will be important if they want to get a win. A busy day for Denison defensive backs. Well, Sherman chucks the ball pretty well, and they do it maybe better than anyone right now in this region. So Denison DBs are going to be busy all day trying to find those talented wide receivers. And then, heck, beginner's luck. They don't all have to be X's and O's. Like we said, first ever season here for Chad Rogers at Denison, his first battle of the axe. You know he's not going to know the environment quite as well as maybe Coach Kinney is, having been here for 3 years already, but swing and you hit it sometimes in your first time up at bat, I guess. You never know.
Hey, that's right. Well, hey, for more on this historic rivalry and the Battle of the Axe, let's check in with Angela Heyman, who's on the sidelines, and it's just as cold there as it is right up here, folks. Angela, what do you have with Chad Rogers' first appearance?
Hey, thanks, Jeff and Travis. Well, it is pretty cold over here, but as you can see, the fans are still excited. I did have a chance to talk with Sherman head coach Gary Kinney earlier about this rivalry and asked him what his thoughts were.
Huge game. You know, when I first got the job here, everybody was like, hey, nice to meet you. You need to beat Denison. So, you know, it's important to everyone that lives in both towns. And my wife actually graduated from Denison, so I have a unique perspective probably on this rivalry. But, you know, it's a big game, and our kids love to play in this atmosphere, and it doesn't get any better than this.
And guys, this rivalry actually made number 4 on the Dave Campbell's Texas football list of the top 10 rivalries in the state. We're going to take a look at the top 10 rivalries right now. You'll see it starts with Longview versus Marshall. That's obviously a big one. Odessa Permian versus Midland Lee. That is Friday Night Lights right there, folks. Nederland versus Port Neches Groves. Denison versus Sherman. That's the game tonight. Texas High versus Arkansas High. That's the only game that crosses state lines on the list. Lufkin versus Nacogdoches. We saw Lufkin a few weeks ago. We were there. You've got Dallas Carter versus Dallas Kimball, known as the Super Bowl. Donna versus Weslaco. New Braunfels versus Seguin. And Gordon versus Strawn is the only 6-man matchup that you're going to see on that list. And as you guys know, those are some great matchups, some big games. When we come back from Denison, we're going to check on some other key matchups tonight when Fox Football Friday returns after this.
Football Friday Live is presented by State Farm. Visit texas.statefarm.com to enter the Fan Up Truck Sweepstakes. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club and spicy home style or grill. Try one today.
We added highlights in segment 3.
Yeah, time will be good. We'll be good. Oh, yeah, we'll be fine.
Have you heard anything new about Caleb Kimbrough? I mean, everything back?
Not really.
I mean, I'm kind of...
Good deal. I'll tell you what, I'll look it up real quick. How's that sound?
Yeah, go. I like that Cooper Abilene game. That's going to be huge tonight.
Yeah, I mean, if we could have been out in West Texas, that would have been a good one to go to as well.
Well, we have KTXS there. We should be able to get it.
Okay, that's good.
You hear that, Scotty? KTXS. Be on the lookout. Abilene and Cooper tonight. They're pretty good with their FTP side. I'm sure that's their big game. I mean, what other game would you have in Abilene?
Oh, snap.
Oh, great. If we get hit in the head.
Shit.
Here we go. Coming at the truck. Loud noise.
Okay. You got our backs?
We're
coming in. We're going online in about a minute. So
that was the last one. Okay,
we're good. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
That's hilarious. It'd be funny to get hit by.
Well, one of them almost broke the monitor. He caught it.
Well,
Made a big save. Here, I'm getting to the. I'm almost to the Caleb Kimbrough news. Thanks,
so I'm going to do the forward read. And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. We are here in Denison. It's the Battle of the Axe, Sherman and Denison. We're almost to Oklahoma up here, the far northern part of Texas. And I can tell you, a little cold front's blown through, but it feels really nice. And I'm sure a lot of football across the state is going to have to deal with some wind tonight. Hey, be sure to join us each and every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on Fox Sports Southwest as we highlight the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week winners. You can also watch our show online at playeroftheweek.com, powered by your Texas Ford dealers.
And if I had a vote for tonight, Jeff, for the pregame, I'd be looking at Sherman quarterback Drew Smith. This kid transferred over from Mesquite ISD last year, so he's been here for a while, and he's got a lot of talent. 6'1", 190-pound senior. He's got over 1,000 passing yards on the season, 12 touchdowns. He's been an assassin with the football so far. The reason he's going to be key, you mentioned it, Jeff, is this wind. It is pummeling right into our face, so it's moving directly down the field. So when you're throwing one direction, you can't let it fly on you. When you're throwing into it, you have to make sure you don't let it dive down into the dirt when you're throwing two. It's going to be a big night for him.
All right, hey, let's take a look at some of the other big games all over the state of Texas. There's a huge one out in the Big Country region with Abilene taking on Cooper tonight.
That's a huge 2-5A district game. And these teams probably, Abilene for sure is at the top of the district, but Cooper, who you see here in the red with quarterback Lorenzo Joe, they're as good as they come. They've already lost a district game, but that doesn't mean they're going to be out of things. They run the ball very well, and Joe is steadily improving as a passer. The key guy for Abilene, though, maybe their defensive lineman, Jake McMillan. He'll be very active tonight, trying to slow down this Cooper run game and get the Abilene defense out ahead to an early lead, maybe make them a winner.
How about in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? Waxahachie and Lancaster. That'll be a good game.
You know what? I got a sneaky suspicion here. Even though Lancaster's ranked number 2 in Class 4A by the Dave Campbell's TexasFootball.com polls, I really think the Waxahachie's got a chance to win here. I really do. That's what you see here in the green and white. They run the ball pretty well. A very good defense as well. They started out the season poorly. They had a really bad loss in the opening week, and since that point, they've only improved. I think a lot of people are overlooking them, and they are primed to make a big statement tonight.
How about the North Texas area? Wichita Falls Rider at Fort Worth Brewer.
Well, we talked about Brewer a little bit last week with their good running back C.J. Washington, who we nicknamed the President, and he has got a stately competition tonight as well. That's Washington, whom you see there. The other big gun, it will be Wichita Falls Rider quarterback J.T. Barrett, who's a BCS caliber kid who can chuck the ball, run, very patient with the football, very well growing along in that offense.
How about the Super Syntax, Temple and Midway? There's a great matchup. We saw Temple earlier this year, up-tempo, great offense, but Midway maybe still the team to beat.
I think they probably are. We can take a look at Temple right here. That's quarterback Zach Allen, who is just killing it. I mean, he is tops in the Super Syntax area in passing yards. He's had a great season so far, but Midway, they like to run the ball and attack the edges. So if Temple wants to win, they have to make sure they contain that run game, keep it all in front of them, and try and limit that big play capability of the Midway offense, especially quarterback Kramer Robinson.
Greater Houston area, Texas City at Pearland. Dawson, of course, Dawson, #1 team for a reason. Very good football team.
They're pretty sharp, Jeff. They've got a really good running back in James White, who honestly might be the best overall player in Class 4A. That's who you see here. I mean, look at those tiny cuts in small spaces. There's not a lot of guys that can do that. He's got the speed to turn on the jets at the end of things. Texas City's offense is more run-based, so they'll have to make sure they can't let Pearland Dawson get out to a big lead, or else, I mean, it's just going to be difficult for them to catch back up to an explosive offense like Dawson has.
Greater San Antonio area, Buda Hayes and Kerrville Tybee. And Caleb Kimbrough looks like he's going to be playing in this game for Hayes. He's the quarterback over there. He's had himself a great season so far this year as well.
Well, he's been suffering from an injury. That's who you see there, number 11 in red. He's hurt a shoulder and he sat out against Lehman. But he told the local papers tonight, I'm going to be playing against Tybee, no doubt. And that's what he brings to the field, an accurate passer, especially in short situations. But he's also a very good runner. He's very mobile, got great feet. He can get out of the pocket. He can run the football. He's just a dangerous high school quarterback. I mean, that's pinpoint accuracy. He's a dangerous kid. They could win with him in the lineup.
Okay, Caleb Kimbrough, we'll see what he can do tonight as Hayes takes on Kerrville Tybee. All right, let's take a quick Academy Sports break and check in with Rick Renner back in the studios. Rick? Really? Nice. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. I saw Throckmorton last year. That's a good team.
They were last year for sure. They've already lost once this year,
But nobody could touch Richland Springs.
they were pretty awesome last year. Their quarterback, Denham Reeves,
Yeah, he was great.
he is a good.
Where's he playing now?
I want to say he went to Angela State or something.
That's good. Good place for him.
I mean, six-man kids don't ever get opportunities at the big schools.
Look at all those matchups, Lamarck and Denison. That's amazing, huh? All in a row.
I've never seen anything like that. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Cal Allen runs in Lamarck every year,
Those
but
were the Jeff Watts days. I remember those.
never heard of him.
But you could only hope to contain him.
Sherman's never even been to a state title game. That's hard for me to wrap my head around. They've been around forever. Well, here's hoping the wind dies down as it gets later. They weren't kidding. This really is standing room only. They filled it up.
I like it. Cool little stadium.
I saw one lady walk up in short sleeves and a skirt. You think she's hurting right about now?
You know, this is where I interviewed. No, I was at Sherman. Never mind. I interviewed Hunter Smith at Sherman about 10 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago.
Hunter Smith?
Yeah.
Coach Kenny was talking to me about him before the game, too.
Yeah, I bet he comes back every now and then.
Ooh.
I found out that he to Fox Football Friday. We're here in Denison, of course, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Denison, the Yellow Jackets, a storied history here. More on that in just a moment. Taking on Sherman here in a battle of the axe. Jeff Power and Travis Stewart joining you from right here on the field. This game will kick off at 7:30. Remember, we can't show you live highlights, but we can show you the next best thing. Right after a big play happens, we will show you the highlight.
And if you're wondering why it's called the Battle of the Axe, Angela Hammond will explain that momentarily. But for now, we'll go down to Angela for a word from some of our sponsors and State Farm. Angela?
Thanks, guys. Well, I am joined by State Farm agents Jay and Sandra representing Denison and Sherman. They're here to tell us a little bit about State Farm's involvement. I'm going to start with Jay. Jay, tell us why State Farm is so involved with high school activities.
State Farm agents are involved in most every activity in the community, and they've always been a large supporter of the educational process, trying to prepare young people for the future, college, to be a real asset to their own communities. And really, State Farm, the slogan that we use, State Farm, a good neighbor, that is not just a slogan, that's actually a way of life with State Farm agents.
And I understand that there is a Fan Up sweepstakes. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Sandra?
Yes, your Texas State Farm agents are having a sweepstakes called the Fan Up. We're giving away a new F-150 Ford pickup.
Absolutely. And what about if someone wanted to get in touch with you and save some money? How could they get in touch with both of you?
Well, you can go to State Farm, or you can go to jbuckner.com and get my website, take you to my State Farm website. So that would be a good way to do it.
And Sandra, what about you?
Sandra Phillips, State Farm at 2521 West Morton Street. Phone number 903-463-3740 or sandraphillipsinsurance.com. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Guys, as you can see, we're huddling together. We're trying to stay warm. It's pretty cold out here, but we're having a good time. Back to you.
Thanks, Angela. Hey, back in 2009, Denison made the state semis. The team they lost to, Aledo, well, they've now won 3 straight state titles in Class 4A. We got a chance to see them up close and personal last night. And I tell you, they look good. They were taking on Fort Worth South Hills. Of course, Coach Buchanan there ready to go, and Aledo came out firing away. Their quarterback, Pate Davis, had a monster game, 176 yards passing, 3 touchdowns through the air. He also had 89 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And it was just a clinic what Aledo was doing in the first half. They would lead that game 28-0. And they've got a running back down there named Jess Anders. He's amazing, 140 yards. He's only a sophomore. They win the game 49-0. Also, Cy Falls was taking on Langham Creek. Now, we saw Langham Creek last week. Langham Creek lost that shootout 64-63 last week to Cy Ranch. Well, this week they were taking on Cy Falls. Cy Falls came into the game undefeated, but look at Connor Feast for Langham Creek. Going up top, the touchdown pass to Caleb Hobbs. And Langham Creek in the all-black uniforms was rolling. But Cy Falls, have you heard about this man? His name is Ja'Cory Warwick. He is a receiver headed to the University of Texas. Look at the catch here, and he is headed to pay dirt into the end zone. Nice move right there
great move
for a touchdown. This game went back and forth. It was Langham Creek that pulled it out in the end, 37-35.
All right, Connor Feast, the quarterback from Langham Creek, starting to get a little bit of traction from college recruiters. Looks like us being out there may have helped the kid. He's got a lot of talent. I'm glad to see it happen.
He certainly does. So the Denison, the one team they seem to play a lot, if we remember correctly, is the Lamarck Cougars.
Sounds familiar.
These two teams played 3 straight years in 95, 96, and 97. And it just became kind of the game that everyone just talked about. I remember that in the mid-90s, Denison versus Lamarck. But Lamarck got the better of them all 3 times.
Well, Denison got their first and only state title in 1984. They beat another Houston team in Tomball. Then you're right, 95, 96, 97. Lamarck got them all 3 times. You know what's really frustrating? Look at the points scored, 8-3 and nothing. But you know what? You almost can't feel bad about it because, Jeff, as I'm sure you remember from being in Houston there around that time, those Lamarck teams, they were awesome. They were as good as they got back then.
So Lamarck taking on teams that were named the Yellow Jackets. I also think about Stephenville as well, another team that used to always battle. All right, let's check back in with Angela real quick and find out more with what's going on down the field. Angela?
Hey guys, well, a lot of people are always surprised to hear that Sherman has never won a state title game, and I had a chance to talk with head coach Gary Kinney about that earlier.
You gotta, when you get in the playoffs, you got to get on a roll at the right time. You got to play sometimes above your head, and you got to have a little luck along the way. But you got to be good enough to be in the conversation, and I think we are one of those teams that's in the conversation for a state title this year. But we got a lot of football between now and then. We want to be district champions first.
And another big surprise is DeSoto has never won a title game. That's always surprising to a lot of people to hear. But you know what? That could all change very soon. DeSoto High School brought home the 5A state track title. For DeSoto football fans, that's a good sign because the head track coach also happens to be the head football coach.
I want you on the 10-yard line.
He's a really smart coach. He's a big risk taker, but he always makes the right decisions to me. He's just the best coach ever. He's also my track coach.
Dontre Wilson is the DeSoto Eagles senior running back, and Coach Mathis, who was a standout running back himself at Texas State, thinks Wilson is something special.
He's a home run guy. Dontre can do it all. He changes the pace of the game. You got to guard him in the slot, you got to guard him at receiver, then you got to guard him in the backfield. So he causes a lot of problems for a lot of opponents, and I'm glad he's on our side. Everybody knows that Dontre has the talent. Everybody knows that Dontre has the skills. But I don't think anybody never gives Dontre the credit enough to know that he's a great leader, and he's doing a great job this year leading this ball club.
This year, Wilson has 90 carries for almost 500 yards and 10 rushing touchdowns. And he's also a reliable receiver out of the backfield with 14 catches for 301 yards and 3 touchdowns. Wilson's dream is to play in the NFL, and he knows to get there, he'll have to be versatile.
If I make it to the NFL, I'm not going to play running back, so I'll probably just be like a slide receiver or something like that, punt return. So they just tell me to focus on stuff like that.
Wilson plans to major in sports marketing in college, and he says if he decides the NFL isn't for him, he thinks sportscasting could be.
Dontre Wilson, he cuts to the outside. Oh, he makes a miss. Spin move. Oh, he dives from the 5-yard end zone, touchdown. The crowd goes crazy.
And guys, Wilson is actually in Oregon this weekend visiting the school that he has committed to. They're playing University of Washington this weekend, so I'm sure he's having a great time. And DeSoto has been great this year, but that has not always been the case. Here's a look at their double-digit win season since 1960. You'll see last year they were 10-2, 2010, 11-3. Then we go to 2006 where they were 10-4, 2001 again they were 10-4, and then all the way back to 1993 they were 12-1. So we'll see what happens with DeSoto this year. Obviously, they've got a great running back in Wilson. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Battle of the Axe. Hey, we're actually going to have the Axe with us at this desk when Fox Football Friday returns from Denison.
It was a little too windy to be doing that audio outside, but I got you. Open the car door, right? Is that what you're saying? So every touchdown tonight, we got to watch for the extra point.
That's a good point. We got 3:05. Is that what you said? 2:30. By the way, Jeff, the beat writer for Sherman Denison for the local paper, he's going to come down at halftime and join us on set, talk for a few minutes. We haven't done that this year. Figured why not?
He said, watch out. I immediately look for a ball.
How's that for advanced planning? These talent folks are a little more useful than they look like. How about us? We can do some talk back between Angela and us with her holding that axe. It'd be a good...
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a billboard with scores, we can use it. But if not, I'll just do the read of that, make a mention of it. That'll be fine.
I can have both hands.
Football Friday Live is presented by State Farm. Visit texas.statefarm.com to enter the Fan Up Truck Sweepstakes. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club and spicy home style or grill. Try one today.
Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's Sherman versus Denison, the Battle of the Axe. Welcome back to Fox Football Friday, presented by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power and Travis Stewart joining you right here along the field. And to find out a little bit more about this axe, the Battle of the Axe, let's check back in with Angela Heyman on the sidelines. Angela?
Hey guys, don't be jealous, but I am standing here with the actual axe that's used in the Battle of the Axe. It's pretty cool. And it's actually really heavy. And this is the original axe that was used from the beginning. This is the 114th Battle of the Axe. This game is huge to both towns, to Denison and Sherman. Both towns are only 8 miles apart. I talked to the coaches earlier about it. They know how big of a game this is. At the end of the season, if they've won this game, they know they've had a good season. So it's pretty cool to have the axe, and obviously Sherman has it now, but who knows who's going to take it home after tonight.
Angela, I think I know the answer to this, but that's the largest medieval weapon you have ever held?
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. Maybe when I was in England or something, I got to hold something bigger, but this one's pretty big. It's pretty awesome. You can see all of the scores on it. The other side, they had to add another blade because they ran out of room, and somebody's going to have their score and go down in history on this after tonight.
I heard at one point that Sherman actually wanted to keep this entire axe, but they said
permanently?
No, permanently, because they were going to get a new one. But no, they decided, hey, let's put a new blade on there and go from there.
You know what? That's one of the things that makes this rivalry game so great, Jeff, is a token like the axe. And you see those things in college football all the time with the iron skillet, for example, for TCU and SMU up here in North Texas. But that axe, it means a lot to these kids, and this game means a lot to these kids, which is why even sometimes when you bring in a team like Denison who's sitting at 0-4, it just doesn't matter, because this game means more to these teams than maybe any other game they'll have all year. When I talked to the coach at Sherman a couple years ago before Coach Kenny got here, he said he was at a grocery store and they had just finished a 10-4 season. The man stopped him and said, "How'd you do?" He says, "Oh, we went 10-4, best season we've ever had." He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, did you beat Denison?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Great season, coach." That's what it means up here. It's not a great season until you beat your rival.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Texas A&M. We'll talk about those kind of things too. How you do want to go 1-11, or do you want to go 11-1 and beat the other team? That's what rivalries are all about. All right, don't go anywhere, folks. The Blitz returns. We'll kick this game off. Don't forget, we can't show you live highlights, but we'll bring you the highlights right after they happen. Fox Football Friday continues here in just a moment.
Alrighty, folks. Probably not. Is there anything in there that's not preview related?
He said that he was going to talk about Leander's quarterback, and I told him if you can't get it to us early, then make it something that's not dated. He's supposed to be talking about the quarterback, Caleb, the quarterback from Leander.
Caleb Woodward.
Woodward, yeah.
If there's a relatively timeless quote about that quarterback, we can use it. Go for it.
Yeah, so that 10 o'clock we hit about 9:20, huh?
Yeah.
And we got Rodney Vincent in that area too.
Yeah, we had the Wilson package and some of the Thursday highlights. There just wasn't a lot of room in live for
Munson Stadium here in Denison. Denison battling Sherman, and yes, the Battle of the Axe. These two cities about 8 miles apart. We're here on the far northern portion of the state of Texas. Welcome to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. I'm Jeff Power alongside Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman on the sidelines. We're ready to kick this game off here in just a few minutes, and we'll bring you the highlights after they happen.
Make sure to interact with us on social media. You can get us on Twitter at DCTF. Make sure you send us your tweets with the hashtag Football Friday. They'll show up on the ticker that you see on the side of your screen. You can send us whatever updates you want from whatever game you're at. Give a shout out to a player for all you know.
Let's do it. Hey, so let's begin with North Texas region right up here, where the regional top 5. Let's kind of move a little bit west and talk about Wichita Falls Rider.
Yeah, we're going to talk about North Texas, Jeff. I can tell you to go along here and hit you in Oklahoma. I mean, that's how close we are to the border. But Wichita Falls Rider over in Wichita Falls does top the North Texas top 5, which we compile with the Dave Campbell's Texas football staff. Sherman comes in at number 2, and with good reason, because they're legitimately one of the teams in 4A that probably has a chance to win a state title this year. Prosper in the 3rd spot in their first season up from 3A. They're 4-0. We'll be checking on their game with Frisco Centennial in just a minute. Denton Ryan's in at 2-2, and Denton Guyer at 2-2. They have a big game against Denton tonight.
Yeah, Guyer bouncing back after that slow start. Now, games we're watching out for here in Week 4, Frisco Centennial at Prosper comes to mind.
Exactly, and this game has gotten off to a quick start. We've already seen the wind a factor because Frisco Centennial hit a 48-yard field goal. Let's check in on the radio on sportsgram.net.
Haskins give the ball to Marquez Houston straight up the middle. There's some tough sledding down there as KJ Smith is in. Andrew Pierce in as well. Tyler Cothera at the nose guard spot, combining to pull down the junior running back Marquez Houston.
Marquez is able to actually gain about 4 right there. As you say, very tough sledding. Gets locking by Cole Collier up front.
Gain of 3 brings up 2nd down and 7 from the Centennial 9. Torrey Hunter Jr. all alone on the left, being given some space. Looked like Ranthony Tejada was showing some inside leverage there. He'll give a little bit less space now. Now he'll back off. Webb takes the shotgun snap. No drop. Fires to the back of the end zone. Pass is caught! Touchdown Prosper! Fred Dillard!
Just short underneath coverage from Centennial, able to throw it over their heads. A beautiful throw, let Dillard run underneath it, and a great catch.
That's quarterback Lamar Jordan for Frisco Centennial on the strike. And Jeff, there's a lot of talent on that field. It's going to be a big game tonight. And on that site, we have Greg Tepper from the Dave Campbell's Texas football staff. Greg, scoring out there, starting early. What have you seen out in North Texas?
Yeah, well, right now we're looking at Frisco Centennial holding a 9-6 lead over Prosper, and both quarterbacks have looked pretty good so far. Davis Webb, the quarterback for Prosper, struck first with a 9-yard strike in the back of the end zone to Trent Dillard. But then, Centennial came right back. Lamar Jordan is a heck of a ball player, and he's been escaping pressure all night, and he managed to find Ian Niedercut, Stoney Hawkins, rather, for a 3-yard touchdown to take a 9-6 lead. The wind is whipping out here, and that's caused 2 missed field goals, but also a 48-yard field goal for Centennial. That's where they've got the other 3 points, but we're looking at 9-6 Centennial right now at the end of the first quarter.
All right, thank you, Greg. Enjoy the game. We'll try and catch up with you a little bit later. Elsewhere in North Texas, Jeff, we talked about this one earlier. Wichita Falls Rider and Fort Worth Brewer, 2 really good teams in Brewer, maybe just on the outside of that top 5 in the region.
Yeah, Brewer off to a great start, undefeated, playing good football this time around. And I tell you what, Wichita Falls Rider, probably the top team out of Wichita Falls.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to argue that they wouldn't be with quarterback JT Barrett. They've played a really tough non-district schedule. They should be kicking off here just about any second. And actually, Jeff, we already have a score behind us. Sherman has already found the end zone. We'll bring you the highlight for that one in just a second. Take a look at Vernon and Gainesville, too.
Yep, Vernon and Gainesville built for success. I tell you, Vernon solid in the trenches and out to a good start this year.
And on both sides of the ball, too. I mean, running back Robert Thomas got 400 yards plus already. Quarterback Brandon Urquizo has already got more than 200 yards. Danny Valverde has got more than 200 yards. Orlando Heyman, same. And then Jonathan Parker, the nose guard on the other side, has already got 5 sacks, which is a ton for earlier in the season. So if you're trying to do battle against this team, you have to be dominant on both sides of the ball. Maybe the oddity of this game is that both head coaches, Mark Bateman and Keith Hall, they coached with each other at another school already. They don't want to play this game. They like each other. They're friends.
And Jonathan Parker's a nose guard on top of that. That's what makes it amazing. Wichita Falls at Azle. How about this matchup?
Well, Old High, that's what they call Wichita Falls High up in Wichita Falls. They're going to start Deshaun Young at quarterback instead of the injured Zach Murphy. Hazel counters with Corbin Coiner, a talented dual-threat kid, and Hazel has really started off the season strong. One of the surprise teams at the beginning of the year, and I think this one actually could be a coin flip. Maybe whoever battles these ridiculous windy elements, maybe it'd come out ahead.
Yeah, they've got their best foot forward off to 3-1 start so far this year.
Well, I mean, look at what they had been previously. They started off 1-3, 1-3, 1-3, and 2-2 over the last 4 years, and all of those records landed them below 500. But I mean, they've already started out better than they have most of the years finished.
How about Pilot Point at Boyd?
Well, Pilot Point brings in dual threat quarterback Travis Garrett, who's got a lot of talent. Boyd also a very good team, but I think this is probably Pilot Point's year. They've been close the past couple seasons, maybe just over the hump, just under it, but I think this season they have a good chance to push and play deep into the playoffs again.
Okay, all right, so that takes care of North Texas. Coming up, we're going to take you out to Big Country, but let's check in with Angela real quick and get an update on this game. Angela?
Hey guys, well the Sherman Bearcats strike early. They score on a 55-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Drew Smith to his big-time wide receiver Joseph Harvey. You'll see Harvey just goes long. They're with the wind right now, and he catches that ball and takes it all the way. So Sherman is now leading 7-0, and there's 9 minutes and 21 seconds left to go in the first quarter. So like I said, they strike early. They want that axe back, obviously. Back to you guys.
All righty, thank you, Angela. Appreciate that. Big Country coming up next here on Fox Football Friday. We'll be right back.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. Buy Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
Jim Barton, good job, my friend. Good freaking job. Oh, that's awkward. Sports Angela, you look pretty darn cold down there.
Yeah, I'm freezing. I think I need a mouthpiece because I think I've officially clinched off all the enamel on my teeth. Just two, only two. There's a t-shirt. And a skirt. I do feel like an idiot.
Let's go down to Angela. Thanks, Jeff. I'm done on the side of the feet.
Do I really sound like that?
No, of course not.
I
you know
hope
what? Get you some hot cocoa.
Oh, I've already had 2 glasses.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. I promise we'll start telling you if you sound like you're in a paint shaker.
And the bathroom is to your left.
Oh no. Yeah, let's put hot chocolate in them.
Brought down by number 29, Jandrick Burns, and number 52, James Walker for the Bearcats.
Well.
Fourth down 5 for the Jackets.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you, that's not happening.
We need to go back to the Valley.
This is true. I do miss the Valley.
Just kidding.
I miss the Valley. They were good to us.
Welcome to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is Sherman and Denison, the Battle of the Axe. This is the Blitz, we call it, and we've got game action going on behind you. Already a touchdown in this game. Bearcats of Sherman leading at 7-0 on a 55-yard touchdown pass.
Not surprising because we knew that Sherman could come in and throw the ball quite a bit. They've already done it. And, Jeff, what this wind does, it's kind of wonky. If you're throwing downfield, defenders have to adjust because that means you extend a quarterback's arm maybe 10, maybe 15 yards if he really gets himself into it. So all of a sudden defensive backs finding themselves guarding the player 60 yards downfield with this kind of a wind.
Yeah, the wind blowing straight out of the north. All right, let's go through the big country now and talk about some of the big matchups there. And I tell you, the regional top 5, the two teams are playing each other. What more can be said?
That's about as big as a game as you're going to find anywhere in Texas tonight, Jeff, is Abilene versus Abilene Cooper. And it's really the only show in town since a lot of the other schools in Abilene are either off or playing away. Stephenville clocks in at 4-1. San Angelo Central is 3-2. Abilene Wiley is 5-0. Shoot, they may be able to run with some of these 4A and 5A teams. These Wiley players, they're pretty good.
Let's talk about that Abilene Cooper at Abilene game. I mean, this is a game that both these teams circle on the calendar every year, but I don't know if everyone saw this coming, a 5-0 and a 4-1 coming into this matchup.
Well, if they didn't, it was because I think everyone expected that Cooper might have been 5-0, but they've already lost a game surprisingly in district that no one expected, and I guess that really gives Abilene the upper hand by proxy, and maybe that or the fact that Abilene quarterback Evan Abbey, he set his career high last year in passing yards with 348 against Abilene Cooper. So you know that he's got a comfort level against that team in red and blue, and they're going to be looking for him.
Let's talk about the maturation of that quarterback, Cooper Lorenzo Joe, improving.
On the other side of the ball from Evan Abbey, you're right, it is Lorenzo Joe, who was an all-state wide receiver last year as a sophomore. Well, look at his numbers as he's gone throughout the season. 106 yards in the opener, then he dipped to 49, 93, but the last 2 weeks he's really blossomed. 199 and a touchdown, and then last week 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. All of a sudden came into his own, and the more comfortable he gets throwing that pill, the better it's going to be for that entire offense playing some of those tough West Texas teams.
So Lorenzo Joe, we'll see if he can get it done for Cooper tonight, taking on Abilene. Now San Angelo Central and Midland, this is a game we'll be watching out for tonight. Another interesting showdown.
Well, a big change for Midland too, Jeff, because they're going to start rotating quarterbacks, which I don't think what anyone expected. They're going to start swapping out Connor Beck and Sam Grimes, two talented kids, Grimes a junior. But what really makes that team good right now is their great defense, especially in the middle at the defensive tackles and the linebacker spots. They're just really tough to run the ball against. So for San Angelo Central, the pressure is going to fall on quarterback Mickey Scott, who's just going to have to move the ball around to keep that defense from keying in on the run game.
What's your thoughts about that? Quarterbacks, you get the play from your coach right in your ear. Run out, run the play. I mean, you like that kind of style, kind of change things up?
Well, I think it takes some pressure off high school kids, because now they know exactly what they're supposed to be running. And when you're playing great high school defenses, if you've got a quarterback who can get a system, who's in a system where he can get a play directly from a coach, know what he's supposed to do, and then maybe even audible at the line if he's really comfortable with the system, that's when you get the really good high school teams where a quarterback has both the authority of the coach and the autonomy to make choices at the line like that. Those teams are tough to beat.
And let's check in, by the way, go back to the Abilene Cooper game. Let's check in a little radio here and find out what's going on in this ball game. As you can see, Abilene up right now 7-0.
Must have just found the end zone.
Cable Channel 7 with McCann, the only back in the backfield. Snap is high. Lorenzo Keefe wants to run the option. 10-5. Lorenzo, a cutback. He's in. Touchdown. Lorenzo Joe from 12 yards out has the Cougars on the board. Hunter Lackey came in blitzing from the outside.
That's Lorenzo Joe, the quarterback for Abilene Cooper, darting in from a couple of yards out. And even though we talked about his growth as a passer, still a pretty good runner.
Yeah, so Lorenzo Joe getting it done right on cue. 7-0. Cooper actually leading that game against Abilene. All right, Stanford at Seymour. This is a great matchup. And, of course, Stanford, a lot of success last season.
And everyone's going to be watching this one because we want to know what the health of quarterback Hagen Hutchinson is for Stanford. He injured his thumb last week, and they don't think it's going to be serious enough where he can't play. It wasn't a fracture, just really sore. What that does mean is it's hard to grip the football and chuck it around, and that's bad when you're playing a team like Seymour because they're great defensively. You're only allowing 6 points per game, Jeff, so if Hutchinson's anything less than 100%, Seymour's going to give him a heck of a run for their money.
Graham at Bridgeport.
Well, these are two pretty good teams, but Bridgeport's been a little bit shaky defensively, whereas Graham has not. The only time Graham has struggled this year has when a team has been able to crack that defense, but it doesn't happen very often. So I don't think we're going to see a shootout here, but if we do, I think that would favor Bridgeport quite a bit.
And how about Clyde at Merkel?
Clyde's got a big 3 offensively. Quarterback Clint Leslie, running back Ty Spears, and wide receiver John Seaborn. And I tell you what, those guys, when you put them all together, that's a really good nucleus for a small school team. I think they got an upper hand against Merkel tonight.
So now District 2 5A, I mean, the Abilene schools, they don't have to worry about Permian this year. This has been a kind of a down season so far for Odessa Permian, and that's been kind of a surprise out there, but the Abilene schools really kind of showing their dominance right now.
Well, yeah, you're right. The Abilene schools are really flexing their muscle, and really Midland is actually right in the mix as well. well, as is San Angelo Central. But look at what Permian's got left on the schedule. They're already 1-4. Well, they have to play at Tascosa. Then they're at home against San Angelo Central. They won't be favored there. They have to play on the road at Abilene Cooper. They won't be favored there. They play at home against Midland Lee. Probably won't be favored there. Then they're at Lubbock Coronado, which could end up being a toss-up. So if you go 2-3 in those games after starting the season 1-4, you're not going to make it. And for Mojo, for Permian fans, I mean, that's emotionally devastating for those fans.
Yeah, that is. Okay, so we'll see if the Mojo can maybe get back on track before it gets too late this season. Well, coming up next, the Academy Sports Desk. Plus, we'll have some statewide scores, more highlights from this one when Fox Football Friday, the Blitz, returns here in Denison.
Floresville 14, Harlandale 7. Dang it, I just had a couple. Cy Woods 10, Cy Springs 0. Ryder 21, Brewer 0. PSJA Memorial 7, McAllen Memorial 0. Oh shoot. Morton Ranch 14, Cinco Ranch 0.
We had a Klein-Oak game, didn't we?
Let's do Lancaster 7, Waxahachie 0. Y'all gonna need help all night on scores? Friendswood 35, Santa Fe 0. That one's gonna get ugly. I got one more. Manville 15, Alvin 7.
I might be able to get us some highlights of that game.
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir.
I got a guy there. I know a guy that's at that game and he's shooting video.
Where?
Manville, Alvin. And welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Sherman versus Denison. It is the Battle of the Axe, and it's the Bearcats right now of Sherman leading 7-0 right now. And let's show you a quick play that actually just got called back.
Didn't count, which is unfortunate in a game like
still
this.
fun.
When you've got a play that counts for something, you're going to want it to actually count. Great run by quarterback Drew Smith from the 1, making a bunch of guys miss all over. And then all of a sudden he's got the sideline. He's got a blocker. He's at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and pay dirt. A 99-yard exhausting, get him an oxygen mask run from quarterback Drew Smith. But as you heard us say, it did not count. Yeah. Poor kid. Give it to him for brownie points at least. That's just cruel.
I'm thinking like Tony Dorsett right there, 99 yards. All right, let's check back in with the Academy Sports Desk and Rick Renner with more. Rick?
Take it to the house.
Uh-oh. Look out. All right, thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. And, hey, there's scores kind of coming in from all over the state of Texas right now. What do you say we kind of take a look at the Wendy score update?
Please do. One score that we talked about earlier we can add a quick update for is Abilene just tied up Abilene Cooper. Abilene recovered a bad snap in the end zone. On to some scores from all across Texas, Jeff, as we alluded to just a second ago.
Yeah,
Floresville
up
out to a good start.
14-7 right now on Harlandale. And, of course, Cy Woods over Cy Springs. Cy Woods has got a good football team. I like what they're doing over there. Wichita Falls Rider up big on Brewer. Look at that, 21-0 in the first quarter. That's a huge game. PSJA Memorial up on McAllen Memorial, 7-0 right now so far. San Juan Alamo Memorial up on top.
And I tell you what, that Valley District with PSJA McAllen Memorial, that is a wild one. Morton Ranch out to a big start over Cinco Ranch, 14-0. Lancaster starts strong over Waxahachie, a 7-0 lead there for Lancaster. Friendswood out to a big lead, 35-0 over Santa Fe. With that quarterback of theirs, Jordan Wood, who is just, he's just torching everybody right now. And then Manville, 15-7 over Alvin.
Manville, good-looking football team. Of course, they had a great run last year all the way to the state finals.
And now up in 5A after they move up from Class 4A, but they've still got the depth, the roster side, the talent. I mean, all the ability to really be a talented team again. I think one of those touchdowns they had came on a 95-yard scoring play. So you know that at any point in time, they could be gone. Big score.
Hey, let's check back in with Angela now with an update of this game right here between Sherman and Denison.
Thanks, Jeff. Well, it's still 7-0 Sherman with about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Just a few minutes ago, Sherman lined up to kick a 33-yard field goal. Looked like they were going to go for the field goal on 4th down, but you know what? They decided to fake it, and Denison gets a big stop. Talk about a momentum shifter, and now Denison is driving the football. They look like they might score on this drive. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Sherman leads 7-0.
All right, thank you, Angela. And Denison is on the 48-yard line. Why do I know that? Because the scoreboard is right on top of us.
I mean, it is literally like a holy presence above us. It is literally that large and
imposing. These are not the lights. These are the scoreboard lights.
You know what? I'm surprised they went for that fake field goal there because they had the wind at their back. And with the wind so powerful going one direction, you would think you would always want to take points when you get an opportunity for it, especially when you have the wind at your back. But, hey, I'm not coaching. Coach Kenny's doing that, and he's a lot better at it than I would be. So I'll defer.
Big play for Denison's special teams to get the block. That's awesome. Or stopping the extra conversion there. All right, so Fox Football Friday will continue here in Denison in just a moment. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with the Blitz.
Guys, can you hear me?
I can.
I just had a DeSoto assistant coach come up to me and tell me that Claude Mathis is not the head track coach.
Oh, no.
And so...
He is a track coach.
He helps with the track. I guess Mark Brady was the track coach last year, and now somebody Miller is the track coach now. Not a big deal.
Okay, no, I'm sorry about that.
No, well, at least someone was watching.
Yeah, hey. I knew they would be watching.
Somebody must have texted him or something.
The player said that he was the coach, though. You heard him in the soundbite talk about it.
He must be a sprints coach or a hurdles coach.
Just in case you want to talk about it again.
That assistant coach who's with you told me he'd be here tonight. He used to coach here at Sherman.
All right. Sherman just scored?
Yeah.
Robert Lake hasn't gotten us any highlights yet. Come on, Robert.
Is it going to be bad? I mean, we can't see. Is it just a mismatch of talent?
Good. Way to go, Matt.
Attaboy, Matty.
Legacy Sports Network standing tall so far tonight.
Oh, righty then. Okay.
And welcome to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz. We're here in Denison. Sherman taking on Denison here. Of course, the Battle of the Axe. Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, the greatest magazine on the planet, I might add.
What an awesome little plug. Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, you know, that's what friends are for.
Oh,
all right.
hands
Hey,
are frozen.
The greater Houston area. Some great football there. Of course, Katy, probably the top team in that Houston area, but Galena Park North Shore hanging with them.
I mean, you're talking by a cat's whisker behind Katy right now because that's how well North Shore has played. Manville, we just talked about them with an early lead over Alvin. They're in at 3-1 in the third spot. Pearland Dawson, we're going to get some footage of their game tonight here in just a moment. And Spring Westfield, surprising Spring Westfield, in very difficult 13-5A, off to a 5-0 start. More importantly, 3-0 in district. And I think they're a top 5 team in the greater Houston area.
Hey, they're fueling off that great playoff run they made last year.
Yes, sir.
All right, Texas City at Pearland Dawson. We talked about it. A great matchup. Stingerees kind of hanging with Dawson so far. Of course, Pearland Dawson, the #1 team in Class 4A. Let's take a look at how this game is unfolding right now.
That's Pearland Dawson, the blue and red, and then Texas City in the white. And that's what Texas City is going to do a lot tonight, Jeff, is run. Gets a run right off that right guard, gets a good run down the sideline, pushed out by the Dawson defense. But, I mean, Texas City, they make a living off of that. Pearland Dawson coming right back, though, with their awesome athleticism on the offensive side of the ball. They punch it in. Remember, they were out to that 13-6 lead. Texas City now threatening on the goal line right up the gut. It's 21 again. This time he falls over the goal line. That was their touchdown for Texas City. But again, like we said, Pearland Dawson leading right now, looking very good.
13-6 the score right now. Dawson on top. There's a good defensive play right there by Dawson. And they have a lot of uniforms. One week they're in all red, then they're in all blue. And I like it. So Dawson up 13-6 over Texas City. We'll keep you updated on that one throughout the night. How about Katy Cinco Ranch at Katy Morton Ranch? Look at Morton Ranch putting up some serious points here in the first quarter.
I think that's a little bit of a surprise, but we can bring in the Houston expert to explain it to us. It's Ahmad Vital joining us over the phone. Ahmad, Morton Ranch out to a 21-7 lead. It sounds like their run game's off to a good start, huh?
Yeah, actually, hello?
We're here, bud.
Huh?
Go ahead, Ahmad. We hear you.
Okay. Well, we got it's 21-7. Morton Ranch over to Cinco Ranch right now. Cinco Ranch is driving inside the red zone right now, but the story today is Morton Ranch running back E.J. Ashleas right now. 9 carries, 188 yards, and a touchdown already. He's pretty much unstoppable. Dion Hall just scored their last touchdown to put him up with that score. Right now they've been feeding Jamel James from Cinco Ranch, looking to go in for the score right before halftime to see if they can see if Cinco Ranch can close the gap in this game.
Now, Ahmad, the running back for Morton Ranch, that's a tricky last name. I have a sneaky suspicion I'll be saying it again later tonight. So one more time for me, slow, and then tell me how good of a recruit he'll be next year.
I believe it's Ashleas. I believe that's what I've been hearing. Of course, I may be saying it wrong as well. I hope I'm not. But I'm sure somebody will correct me here in just a second. But it's Ashleas. He's getting some SEC looks right now. Last time he and I talked, LSU and Bama had made some type of contact. And, of course, on the other side, Cinco Ranch, Jamel James is committed to Notre Dame for this upcoming class.
Okay, Ahmad, we do appreciate that. We'll stay in touch with you throughout the night. Again, Morton Ranch leading Cinco Ranch right now 21-7 early on in that game. All right, how about the Katy comeback? Katy ISD's combined record without Katy. Look at that.
Once you take Katy out, because, I mean, it's been a struggle over the past couple of years. Look at 2011, 2010, 2009. They were under 500. But this year, it's been a strong start. And Maid Creek and Seven Lakes and Morton Ranch are the big reasons why. They're playing better football, Jeff, than they have in years past. And they may be on track to have a better season even when they did in 2008, when it seemed like pretty much everyone was good.
Kingwood Park at Dayton is in the game we're following. Dayton right now on top 7-0 in the second quarter.
Well, I can hit the fast forward button for you on this one because Dayton just blew up right before the halftime mark. It's actually 21-7 now at halftime. I think they literally just walked into the locker room, and well, that's gloom and doom for Kingwood Park because Dayton is awesome defensively. Once they put you in a hole like that, it's pretty tough to come back.
So all grown up, huh?
Well, look at all these 2008 programs in the Houston area that started in 2008, and look at what they're doing now. Pearland Dawson is 4-0. They've already been to state semifinals, seems like every year. Manville's 3-1. They played for a state title last year. Kingwood Park is 4-1. Magnolia West is 2-3, and Goose Creek Memorial's 2-2. So, Jeff, we've talked a lot over this year and last year about how new programs are getting talented players really early. Circle this in red because all these teams are doing that. Remember, they're only 4 years old now, and they're playing really good football.
All right, how about Houston St. Thomas versus Houston St. Pius X? Of course, St. Pius, a lot of people got to see them when they took on Sealy earlier this year, and they've got a star quarterback. And this is an interesting game. We're going to have highlights of it a little bit later on tonight.
Well, they've got a star quarterback in Cole Stewart. He's got everything you could want. The only problem right now, he's thrown a couple picks. I think he's thrown 8 so far in the year, so he's got to scale back on that, which he will. And when he does, I mean, that St. Pius team is going to be a private school favorite from start to finish. St. Thomas counters with Christopher Zook, which is a really fun last name to say. And he's got 7 total touchdowns between rushing and receiving skills. 2 really good players out there. There's a lot more than just those 2, but those are probably your focal points. I think St. Pius will win, but you never know in these Houston private schools. You never know who will come out and get one.
You know who else played quarterback at St. Pius? Gary Kubiak,
yes,
head coach of the Houston Texans.
Favorite man in the city of Houston right now.
All right, how about Fort Bend Marshall at Fort Bend Ridge Point? 10-7 right now, Marshall.
Marshall dropped down to 4A in the offseason. It was part of the schism with Fort Bend ISD where some schools dropped down to Class 4A for the first time in a long time, maybe ever. I'd have to actually double check on that. Ridge Point is a new school, and they knew coming in if there's one thing you have to do to slow down Marshall, it's exactly that. You got to slow them down because they're really fast. They got a lot of speed on both sides of the ball. They may have the most talented defensive player in all of Texas. It's a really good team. I expect they'll win tonight.
Okay. All right, let's check one more time on the Texas City Pearland Dawson game. We've got some radio of a touchdown that just happened. All right. This is Dawson 13-6 over Texas City.
He's tripped up but stays on his feet inside the 45 down to about the 43-yard line, and that'll be about a 6-yard gain.
Again, you can see Allen avoiding the blitzer, able to pick up some good yardage coming in. He's coming through, missing that.
Yards to go, still manageable distance for Texas City if they want to keep this drive alive. Allen pressured, and he will be hit. No, gets the pass away, but it's picked off. Intercepted. And still on his feet down the sideline, and he's going to bring it all the way back. And on the return, that's Josh Moten for the touchdown.
There is a
So a possible flag right there. We'll have to double check and see if that play ends up getting called back. We had a touchdown called back right here in this game between Sherman and Denison. But look at this. Dawson and Texas City, a good matchup so far, and Legacy Sports Network on that call right there. We do appreciate everything they do.
Speaking of the game behind us, Sherman and Denison, Sherman has scored again to make it 14-0. Let's check in with our frozen sideline reporter, Angela Heyman, with the breaking news.
Hey guys, well, it's 14-0 Sherman now. Trey Mass, their big running back, he scored earlier on a 13-yard rush. You'll see him, he breaks to the outside, gets to the corner of the end zone, crosses that pylon. We're going to see the setup play, then we'll see the touchdown from him. Now here's that touchdown again. Trey Mass with the great run, crosses the corner of the end zone. It looks like Denison just scored, so now it's going to be 14-6. Maybe they'll cap it off that extra point, make it 14-7. We're in the second quarter now.
Okay, so it looks like Denison may have just scored as we were bringing you highlights of Sherman's second touchdown. In fact, let's go ahead and show you this touchdown that just happened, literally. Denison trying to fight back in this one. They were trailing 14-zip. Look at the play right here. Back in the back of the end zone. Clifton Hines with the pass. Nicely done. Fantastic catch. That is Jaleel Dade there with the reception. It's now 14-6. An extra point is pending. Okay, so it's at the 1, not quite a touchdown. They're ruling them down at the 1. Let's hold it here for a second. We'll let you know if they actually can break the plane and get a touchdown. But so this is a very important part of the game for Denison. They want to stay in this game. They need to score this touchdown. And I understand they just did get the touchdown. And again, we can't show you highlights live by UIL rules, but we can bring them to you right after the play happens. And here it is. This is the touchdown run for Denison. They cut the lead now to 14-6. Give you a little low angle here. That is the quarterback keeper. I like that low angle. It gives you a chance to really see not only who has the ball, and Clifton Hines right there, but to also show you how that offensive line had a good surge right there into the goal line, into the end zone for the touchdown.
Exactly. When Chad Rogers, the head coach at Denison, was at Snyder, I mean, they ran a slot offense where they banged a lot of bodies and they run it a lot. And that's why it was important that Denison just got that touchdown. Sherman was out to a 14-0 lead. And you can't let an offense like Sherman's Bearcat offense just get ahead of you, or else they'll blow you away because you can't catch back up. So Denison made a big play there to get into the end zone.
So don't start engraving that S on the side of that play just yet. 14-7 right now. Sherman is trailing. Sherman leading. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grill. Try one today.
I'm looking right now. Those are tiny schools. We may not find anything.
While you're looking, we do have some Leander Rouse highlights that just came in. Okay, that's good. Thank you. I mean, it's not syntax, but it's pretty close.
Good. All I see, I don't see anything on those.
7-7.
Man, I don't see anything. Oh, Bosqueville 13, Bremond 7. And it sounds like everyone's looking for the same ones that you guys are outside of that one.
We got some good plays in this Rouse-Leander game. Oh. Rouse and Leander, 7-7. R-O-U-S-E. Okay. Man, there's a lot of schools in Leander ISD, isn't there?
Yes. I wouldn't mind it, truth told.
I mean, 3 new stadiums. And welcome to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is the Blitz, and it all starts right here on Friday. Sherman and Denison, the Battle of the Axe. These fans pumped up, ready to go, and we got ourselves a good game right now. The Bearcats up 14-7 right now on the Yellow Jackets, so that is Sherman up on top of Denison.
You know, we've talked a lot about history tonight between these two teams. We're going to make some more tonight. Here's a big play that just happened. A key fumble for Sherman. Denison is all over it. That will give them the ball in the red zone, puts them in prime position to maybe tie this game with about 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Jeff, like I was about to say, we've talked a lot about history. We could see some tonight over in the DFW area. It's running back Keon Kenner for Little Elm at halftime has 343 rushing yards.
Goodness.
So he is 246 off the record still, but 343 rushing yards in the first half.
And we've already seen a passing record by the wayside this year.
True enough.
And by the way, the ball's now on the 30-yard line, so Denison going backwards at the moment. All right, Super Syntax. How about Hewitt Midway, top team, 4-0, 1-0 in district play.
And they will see Temple tonight. That is your fourth team in the top 5. A&M consolidated 4-2. They beat the Woodlands last night. Coppers Cove won last night. They're 4-1. Killeen at 3-1. They've got a big game this week as well, Jeff.
Yeah, A&M Consolidated has played a very tough schedule. I've been super impressed with what they've been able to do this year. Of course, they knocked off Lake Travis this year already, and now the big win last night over the Woodlands. So congratulations to them. Hey, the games that we're watching out for in the Syntax, Temple trailing right now against Midway, 14-6. Let's go to KTEM Radio and listen in, find out what's going on.
Keep this drive alive. Allen pressured, and he will be hit. No, gets the pass away, but it's picked.
All right, so Temple and Midway is 14-6 right now, Midway on top. Now, Willis at Brenham, Another game we're watching out for here, and right now Brenham up 14-7. We'll get to see Brenham next week when they take on Montgomery.
That's right. Brenham, part of that broad Super Syntex area that we run, and they're going to be the favorite over Willis tonight because their defense is suddenly stout. They've only given up 35 points in the last 3 games. They've been very good, but Willis will, of course, counter with quarterback Bean, a really talented kid. He's got a lot of ability, but you still got to like Brenham here, I think.
McGregor at Lago Vista, and Lago Vista, of course, in the kind of more towards that Austin area in the Hill Country, but good game against McGregor.
Still looking for the score here. If you've got it, send it at DCTF on Twitter with the hashtag Football Friday. And both of these defenses are really good. They're both allowing 20 points or less per game, but it's really the 2 offensive stars here that I think are probably going to draw the headlines. It's quarterback Troy Allison for McGregor, who has got 810 passing yards in the season, 10 touchdowns already. And then Seth Lozano for Lago Vista, rushing 300 yards, receiving 200 yards, 7 touchdowns between the 2 skill sets. These kids are really talented, but I still think it may end up being the defenses that are going to pace us tonight in this matchup.
I'm processing 306 rushing, 205 receiving. Wow. Crawford and Centerville, another Super Syntex matchup tonight.
Really good 2A matchup, and Crawford has been a team that's been kind of on the cusp for a while. They've always got talented kids. They're always a playoff team. But beating this good Centerville team, I think, would give them a good springboard heading deep into district play, heading into the playoff race, and really building some momentum for when they see some of those 2A powerhouses at the end of the season.
Bosqueville and Bremont right now. Bosqueville up 13-7 in the first.
You know, I think a lot of people were looking for Bremont here, but I actually liked Bosqueville, and it was quarterback C.J. Collins. He's got 15 touchdowns passing already, and his wide receiver J.T. Antis has 7 of them. I think those 2 may be the reason why. But I tell you what, if you're looking for a kid that does it all, maybe even serves up the snacks at halftime, take a look at Bremont's Tyler Wilson. He's 5'10", 200-pound senior. He's got 170 yards receiving. It's good. He's returned 3 kickoffs for 35 yards, returned 5 punts for 35 yards. He's got 36 tackles, 2 sacks, and a pick. I mean, just doesn't ever leave the field. Does every last thing on that field for those teams. I mean, you talk about getting tired at the end of the season, that's a guy. And that's really what Class 1A football is, Jeff. To a certain extent, you get it here at the 4A teams like the ones we got behind us, Sherman and Denison. But at those small schools, 1A, 2A, 3A, everyone does everything because you really don't have much of a choice.
So you weren't kidding when they had to bring the snacks at halftime.
I really think they may actually have to do that.
Okay, let's check back in with Angela with more. Angela?
Thanks, guys. Well, there are 9 minutes to go in the second quarter of this ball game, and it is now all tied up thanks to a touchdown pass to Kwame Bush. You'll see this 29-yard touchdown pass. Bush is covered the entire way. He makes an unbelievable catch in the end zone. This game is tied up. And guys, right now I am joined by the Academy team behind the team for the week. This is the Denison High School Student Council. I'm joined with Katie. She is the student body president. Katie, tell me a little bit about how you guys are involved with supporting the football team.
Well, we definitely put so much behind our boys. We support them 100%. Our student body section is called our party pit. And if you'll see the highlighter yellow shirt I'm wearing, they actually support our head football coach. They say, "Can I get a hoo-ha," which is our student body cheer. And on the back they say, "Roger that," in honor of our new head coach, Coach Rogers. We keep the football team just pumped up with the party pit. We lead cheers. We do all sorts of things with the party pit to make sure that our boys always know how proud we are of them.
Well, congratulations, y'all, on being nominated as the Academy team behind the team. I know your school is very, very proud of you, and obviously you guys have been jumping up and down on the sidelines. Yeah. Your team is now tied it up, and this is going to be a great game, so congratulations. Back to you guys.
Okay, Angela, thank you. Of course, the Academy team behind the team, the Denison Student Council. All right, Temple and Midway. Let's check in real quick and get you an update on this game. This is KTEM Radio, Temple and Midway.
Wrong side of the field, and they're going to go that way. Bull across the middle. He catches it at the 25 to the 10. Touchdown, Wildcats.
Oh, great play.
So Bull tucked into the slot on the near side, just ran a post route, got all the way across the field, caught it, and took it to the house.
He ran past it. That's his cousin over there.
A couple other Syntex scores to update that we just talked about. Bosqueville scored again. They now lead 19-7 over Bremont. And we did find a McGregor score 14-0 over Lago Vista right now.
All right, so the score's pouring in. We'll go to the Coastal Bend when Fox Football Friday continues in a moment. Scales.
Ooh, that I almost lost my whole script. Say that again now.
Leander and Rouse.
And then who was the second one?
Keller.
And Keller Central? Cool. I didn't know we had those coming in. I love you.
I had the play-by-play on Rouse Leander.
Oh.
Second down 29 for the Bearcats. Paul Mark on the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line.
Okay, so we're doing all the highlights, then we go to Fox. Okay, all right. I've got the read on Rouse Leander. Why don't you do the read on Keller?
Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a read on Keller, but I'll just work my way through.
Yeah.
Okay. How many plays do we have for Keller and Central? Yes.
Can we have coffee on the set while we're on the air? Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't think that's a problem.
That's student council president, Katie Burkhead. Be careful.
I don't know where your daughter is, but tell her we love her, because this literally just saved my life. I was going to die.
Very nice.
We have a broadcast here, both cameras that are around.
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining you. Hey, we've got some quick highlights to get to. What do you say we take a look at Leander taking on Rouse? Leander trying to bounce back after the loss to Cedar Park. Rouse visiting Bible Stadium to take on the Lions. First series for Rouse, number 4, Billy Ray McCrary, is picked off by Taylor Sugar. Look at Sugar Bear of the Lions, who takes it home for the touchdown. That is nice. Then Caleb Woodward, quarterback for Leander, fumbles, and Rouse recovers on the very next play. McCrary will hit number 3, Andre Alger, for a Rouse touchdown. Check it out. It is 7-7 right now. Rouse has got themselves a great football team this year. Head coach John Mann doing a nice job over there.
Rouse is for real, tied at 7 with Leander. Let's also take a look elsewhere in the DFW area for Keller and Keller Central. These two teams locked up early on. We're going to get a couple of plays here. Look at the scramble after faking the pass. The defense jumped onto the corner of the end zone. A great run. Mobile quarterbacks, Jeff, in the high school ranks, they'll kill you for a defense. That'll just break your heart. This one tied up at 7 right now in the second quarter. It looks like we got a firecracker out there.
Digging the lightning bolt. All right, PL Calhoun. Let's talk about that Port Lavaca Calhoun down in the Coastal Bend. Actually, let's go to the Fox Studios quick on Academy Sports Desk. Then we'll talk about the Coastal Bend in just a moment. Rick, what do you have?
Okay. Hey, Jeff, do you think we could reboot the or reset the queue for the Twitter bar when we get a chance? Clear out some of the... Oh, okay, thanks. I don't know. I don't remember. Caleb Woodward just scored. It's 14-7, Leander.
Promoting themselves.
Yeah, but it makes you appreciate us even more.
How?
Yep, I do. I do it so you don't have to. Merry Christmas. Oh, they take about 20.
How are we looking with Sealy? Jim got them? Sealy Sports Network? Got a lot of stuff written down about that game. Sealy and Wharton. What's up with this bus? Oh, Sherman's bus. That's a big game. Both teams are 4-1.
God bless you, Jim. God bless you.
All righty, Rick, thank you very much. By the way, update on the Leander game. Caleb Woodward just scored. They lead Rouse now 14-7. All right, that regional top 5 in the Coastal Bend, Port Lavaca, Calhoun, still that top team down there. And Gregory, Portland, Flower Bluff kind of hanging.
Well, Calhoun deservedly so in the top spot because they beat Cal Allen last week. That's why you see a big 2 in Cal Allen's record because they also lost to Flower Bluff. So Calhoun, Gregory, Portland at 5-0, Flower Bluff at 5-0, Corpus Christi King, the lone 5A team in the rankings right now, 3-1, and then Cal Allen at 3-2.
All right, games we're watching out for. Calhoun is taking on Toloso Midway right now, and Calhoun looking good, up 21-7 in the second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, until Calhoun plays Flower Bluff or Gregory Portland, I mean, you can pretty much put a fork in it. Calhoun just looks like the best team in the Coastal Bend right now, hands down. They're just that good, especially in the ground game. Got a really good quarterback in Hunter Bourne, really good running back in Jacorius Williams. And I mean, look at how I say imbalance in their offensive imbalance, but they don't really need balance because their ground game's so good. In 2011, Jeff, they ran the ball 576 times. They only threw it 27. They threw the ball 27 times all year. In 2010, they only threw it 43 times. And then this year, they've only thrown it 6. But over that time span, heck, they're 25-5, and they got 6 1,000-yard rushers. They've obviously got something going right for them.
Sealy is taking on Wharton tonight. Wharton right now leading at 14-7. Both these teams 4-1. The last meeting was in 2007. Sealy won that game 34-12. Wharton won back in 2006. It is the 12th meeting overall. And since 1931, Sealy's got a 6-5 advantage. But, Wharton's quarterback, Martin Grissom, he's been pretty good so far this year for him. I tell you what, this game is a huge matchup for both of these two teams. And Sealy, life without their star Seals Jones, just it's tough for them right now. They're trying to battle through some quarterback issues down there. Holton Einkopf is doing a good job as a sophomore. Stepping up for Ricky Seals-Jones. So we'll see how that game goes on later tonight. All right, Corpus Christi Ray at Laredo Nixon, another big matchup in the Coastal Bend.
Yep, if you got a score for that one, please send it to us at DCTF, #Football Friday, if you would be so kind. Corpus Christi Ray has got a good-looking quarterback, though, and Marcus Mosley over to 1,000 yards passing on the season. But the story here, I think, Jeff, and it kind of permeates throughout the city of Laredo as a whole, but particularly with Nixon in this case, who just dropped down to 4A again, is how some of the enrollment numbers, both in Corpus Christi and Laredo, slowly dropping a little bit over the years as people are moving out, going other areas, which is kind of cyclical. But look at 2002 and 2003 in that realignment. Nixon was at, about 22 and change? 2004 and 2005, they dropped to 21. 2006, 2007, a little lower at 21. 2008, 2009, they dropped to low 2000s. And then 2010, 2011, they barely broke even at 2000. So you can see that kids are coming out, moving to other areas. And part of that is there's just so many schools right now in Corpus Christi and Laredo that kids move and go from one place to the other. But by and large, I think the the Coastal Bend where Corpus Christi is, and then where Laredo is, and the flip side of the bottom part of Texas, people are just moving out and going other places right now.
And El Campo, just a little bit maybe west of that Coastal Bend area. They've got a big matchup against Belleville. They lead right now 14-0. El Campo might be the best team in that district.
They might, and in some ways, Jeff, they fit into the phenomenon we were just discussing because they are dropping down to 3A this year for the first time, and then maybe ever. I can't remember if they've ever been down to 3A before, but they are out to a 14-0 lead, and it's no surprise, Jeff, because they're 4-0 on the season, but the 4 teams they've beaten were all 4A teams. So they've beaten 4 Class 4A teams with a 3A squad. That's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it's District 25 3A we're talking about. Palacios and Stafford right here, another interesting game along that Coastal Bend.
Well, we were just talking about Calhoun and how they seem allergic to the passing game. Well, Stafford must be a kissing cousin to him because they've rushed the ball for 1,300 yards so far this season. They've only got 140 passing yards on the book. So Stafford's a little one-dimensional right now, but it's working for them. I think they may win.
Okay, hey, let's check back in with Angela real quick and get an update down here in the game between Sherman and Denison. Angela?
Hey, guys, we've got less than a minute left in the second quarter, and Denison just got a big sack on Sherman quarterback Drew Smith. The big sack came from Matt Hamilton, their senior linebacker. That caused a 3rd and 16, and Sherman did not make the third down conversion. It's now 4th and 5, and they're going to have to punt. Denison's going to have a chance with a little less than a minute to go to drive the ball down and try to take the lead. Right now, we're tied 14-14.
How about this Denison defense, Angela? Denison hanging tough, but their defense making some pretty big plays for them.
They are making some big plays. Like I said earlier, I really think that fake when they tried to kick that 33-yard field goal and Denison got the stop, that was a big shift in momentum, and that really gave the defense some life, and they've been playing great after that.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to talk about the Valley when Fox Football Friday continues.
Really, thank you, Val, for that hot chocolate. It made a huge difference out here. I was freezing. I feel much better now.
I'm happy Denison's hanging with them. That's good for us.
Oh, you kidding me? It's great for us. Game's been moving really fast, too.
Yeah, 59 seconds to go in the half. Huh?
It's only been an hour. Sucker's going to be over in no time flat. Hey, Jeff Watts. Eladio Jaimez has done games for us in the... never mind. Ignore me. I said nothing over the past 10 seconds. Ignore me.
You going home after this?
Yes, I am.
Uh-oh. Lake Travis is losing.
Ever since that stop off at Walmart, she's been awesome.
Right, we got the check presentation coming up. Yes, it is. Yeah. No. Not the cheerleaders, no.
What is happening?
We need to get the principal.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we've got the principal. Hi, lady. Sorry. How are
Did she
y'all?
say hi, lady?
We come back from segment. You guys go crazy.
She said Hilario.
Yeah, he's getting him. No, don't come to me yet. Sorry, they looked at me when I said no, not the cheerleaders. So I had to backtrack out of that one.
Hashtag sideline reporter problems.
Yeah. Hashtag you don't understand. Hi.
Hello.
I'm Angela Heyman.
Kevin.
No, that's not
Cabin?
true.
Yes.
Okay, will you spell that for me, please?
Cavin.
Okay, will you spell your last name, please?
Boettger.
Do you guys get that?
Welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. We've got ourselves a great game here. Sherman and Denison, it's the Battle of the Axe. These two teams 8 miles apart. Denison hanging right now, 14-all, 26 seconds to play here in the half. Can't show you live highlights, but we bring them to you pretty much right after they happen. Let's check in with Angela real quick, who has more down on the sidelines.
Thanks, guys. Well, I am here with Denison High School Principal Bodiger, and we're here for the Wendy's check presentation. Principal Bodiger, Wendy's believes that a key to success is a great education, and they believe that it has to happen both in the classroom and on the field. So on behalf of Wendy's, I would like to present Denison High School with this $500 check. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
This is a very exciting game, obviously the Battle of the Axe. It's known across the state. What do you think? What has this week been like leading up to this game?
Oh, it's very hectic, and it's very, spirit-filled. This is one of the great rivalries. OU Texas,
Army, Navy, but nothing left out of this game. This is a great, great rivalry.
As far as high school rivalries go, it is big. You hear the crowd goes wild, and I got to tell you, you're making me look like a wimp because you're in short sleeves and I've got a jacket and gloves on. It's pretty chilly out here, but I know the fans are still going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They're still excited despite the weather.
Yeah, it's great. Great game, close game, great fans, wonderful night.
Well, thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Angela. And let's kind of break down these Wendy's keys. I can tell you, Sherman just scored again while we were talking there. 20-14 now, Sherman on top. But this game's been fantastic.
Well, key number one looked like it may have been coming to fruition early because Sherman jumped out to that 14-0 lead. But then Denison roared right back with 14 points of their own to keep this a game right at halftime, which is what they sorely needed. Steady improvement. Oh, yeah. We've seen that from Denison tonight. This is a better Denison product than we've seen so far. This year, they're still getting better. A busy day for Denison defensive backs. Sherman's exploited them. They hit that long touchdown pass early on, but for the most part, it's been turnovers that have hurt Sherman so far right now. And the beginner's luck, it's tough to say. With Chad Rogers, the new coach at Denison, I think he's been done pretty well so far, but it's tough to tell, exactly how that one's playing out yet.
Well, let's kind of see what just happened just now. Sherman, we'll get you a little setup here first. The ball thrown downfield. There's Denison on the move. I mentioned there's going to be a turnover. There it is. And there is the turnover. The ball picked up. That's number 13 right there, Jaden Thomas. And so now here's Sherman on the move. This is the touchdown we're talking about. The pass towards the back of the end zone there. And look at the nice, nifty running. That is by number 34, Trey Mask, in for the touchdown.
And you know what? That is the perfect play call for the perfect defense because Denison sent essentially the house and the kitchen sink and then a couple other guys they found on the street. They blitzed everybody. Sherman very wisely ran a screen. Wide open turf in front of him.
Okay, hey, let's go down to the Valley now and talk a little Valley football for you. Talking about the top teams down there. Mission Sharyland. Glad to see Mission Sharyland up on top. That's kind of hard to say.
Mission, well, it is when you're frozen like we are right now. Remember, they are on a new coach this year, but so far it's not hurt them. They've been very good. Donna, they won last night. They're out to 5-0 and 3-0 in district play. Edinburgh North, they lost to Donna. That was why they dropped down to 5-1, 3-1 overall. Edinburgh Economides at 3-2 and 1-2. And then Weslaco at 2-2 and 2-0. A lot of really good teams in the mix there, Jeff.
Far San Juan Alamo Memorial at McAllen Memorial. Battle of the Memorials. Week 5 action for you down in the Valley. Look at this, 7-3 right now. PSJA Memorial on top.
I like how brave you are going with the full Far San Juan Alamo instead of just the PSJA like I always say.
I like our viewers to be educated.
7-3 PSJA Memorial. PSJA Memorial's got the big gun on the field. It's Jaime Borrego, their wide receiver, who is just, I don't have an adjective. He's just ridiculously explosive and athletic. He devastates the defense because he's so fast. Was it?
That was 3 adjectives.
You call me out of my adjective use now. I see. Okay, we're friends. But he's very dangerous in the open field, and he really hurts a lot of these defenses, especially McAllen Memorial right now. McAllen Memorial is one of the best defenses out there right now, but Borrego can really hurt you. McAllen Memorial, that is, doesn't want to fall behind too much because they don't pass the ball that well right now.
How about McAllen Rowe at Weslaco?
Oh, Rowe, that's an old friend of ours. We saw them a couple weeks ago down in the Valley when they took on district rival McAllen, and they're in for a tough test because Weslaco is a really, really good defense, the only undefeated district team in all of 31 5A, and the offense at Weslaco seems to have finally caught up to a good defense, 448 yards last week offensively, but Rowe can still beat you because they chuck the ball around a lot with quarterback Javi Obregon's had a great start to the year, and this really could boil down to that Rowe offense versus that Weslaco defense. The Rowe offense has scored 196 points. That's second most amongst all 5A Valley teams. Weslaco's only allowed 58, Jeff. That's third amongst 5A Valley teams, and guess what? It's the first ever meeting between these two schools. Can you believe that?
Well, I can't. That's good. All right, PSJA North at San Benito, and right now San Benito up 7-0.
Well, right now San Benito is coming off a little bit of an upset loss, I guess you could say, but they're still really good defensive team, and they have PSJA North at home tonight, so they should win, and I would not be surprised if North didn't cross the 13, 14, 16, 17-point threshold, because San Benito, those Greyhounds, they can just lock you down defensively.
How about Los Fresnos at Harlingen? And Harlingen's woes continue so far this year, but Los Fresnos up 14-0.
You know, I can't say I'm terribly surprised by this, not because I don't think Los Fresnos is just, the Valley favorite by far, but, they expressed some frustration after losing to Harlingen last year, and, they used the word personal. They said it was personal this year. You knew they were going to come out and play good football, and they are with quarterback John Michael Rosales. The only game he's missed all year was the only game Los Fresnos lost. So they actually may be one of the best teams in the Valley, but we won't know until we get a little further into district play. And honestly, it may actually not matter because look at the 4 teams at the top of 32-5A. Los Fresnos, Harlingen South, Harlingen, and Veterans Memorial. They're all either at 2-1 or better. Well, Jeff, all the other Brownsville teams put together, they're 3-20 combined. So they're looking like they're outside the playoff race. And if you're looking for a 5A district that maybe already sewn up, maybe 32-5A.
And the Cardinals of Harlingen, after starting off 0-2, have won their first 2 district games, so they are kind of bouncing back. All right, La Jolla and Economides right now in the second quarter, all knotted up at 0.
Well, if you had caught me on the street and asked me about this game a week ago, my answer may have been a lot different than what it is tonight because La Jolla's coming off a bye, and they're finally getting kind of healthy because they're getting 2 running backs back who they were really expecting good things from, Juan Rodriguez and Jorge Alvarado. With those 2 guys back in the lineup, I mean, it totally changes the Coyotes' complexion. All of a sudden, they're a much better offense. They can run the ball, control the clock. They are the match for Economides with those 2 guys back in the lineup.
Going down to the valley seems like a long time ago. It was nice and warm down there.
Don't remind me. More hot chocolate.
21-14 right now. Sherman leading Denison. 16 seconds to play here in the first half. This game's been moving pretty fast. Surprises so far in this game? What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because, I mean, Denison's, I think, played a little, I don't want to say over their head, but they've played better than expectations. Because people figured that Sherman was going to be the better squad, especially offensively. But you're right, the Denison defense has stood tall. Let's see, they've stuffed a fake field goal. They forced a fumble that I believe they converted into points. Those are winning plays that you have to have. And over the past couple years in the first 4 games this week, Denison really hasn't had that yet.
Okay, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back here on Fox Football Friday. We'll hear from the coaches in just a moment.
Hey, Val, is there any more of that hot chocolate? I went through that like a hot knife through a very cold human.
I'll take one, too. Okay.
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 All right. Please do. People don't care as long as they get to see someone run and someone catch a football. Halftime still tied, 7-7 Keller Central, right? That's what I see on the Twitter. Do you want to audio test them real quick so we can make sure you can hear us? EJ, can you hear me, buddy? It's Travis.
Hey, Travis, how's it going?
Oh, we're doing good. We just wanted to make sure you could hear us. We'll probably catch up to you. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes. May be a while, so hang tight.
Okay, I will.
All right, see you, bud. Thank you, Russ.
Hey, what's the score in your game, EJ?
I think we lost. It's all right.
Okay. Okay.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today.
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is The Blitz. We're watching Sherman and Denison right here behind us. Of course, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is Munson Stadium, and this has been a good football game. Of course, the Bearcats jumped out early, but Denison has battled their way back. Let's kind of break down the first half highlights for you here. As we said, Sherman kind of got things started. A little bit of trickery. Look at the pass here from Drew Smith all the way downfield. Wide open. There is a touchdown. Joseph Harvey, 55 yards. Then Smith hands the ball off to his big man who's had a good first half, Trey Mask. And Trey Mask into the end zone for a touchdown. And yeah, that S was looking like a Superman S, off to a good 14-zip start. Back comes Dennison. Dennison playing some good football now. Clifton Hines with the keeper, cutting the lead to 7. And then the Jackets would go back on the offensive again. The pitch out here, but look at this. A little trickery, a little tomfoolery. Back in the end zone. Great play there by Kwame Bush off the nice pass. So Dennison back in it. They knotted things up at 14. Sherman goes back on top, though. The pass to Mask, and look at the running by Mask. Avoiding tackle, keeping those legs moving, and he's into the end zone. And right now at the half, it is 21-14. Sherman leading Dennison. So this game living up to exactly what we thought it would be.
All right, let's go down to Angela Heyman, who's got Coach on the sidelines waiting for us. Angela, take it away.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Coach Rogers. Coach, I know you guys are down 21-14 right now, but your team did come back from a 14-0 deficit. That was pretty awesome how the defense got that stop on the field goal fake. What do you think?
Yeah, we're playing well. They never gave up. They could have folded up their tents when we went down 14 points. I think that shows you the resilience of our kids. We're growing up in front of the fans. We're getting better and better every time we snap the ball. If we don't have that turnover right at the end and give them a little momentum and they caught us in the wrong coverage, I think we take this in 14-14 or 21-14 in our favor. So, we're playing well.
And that fake field goal stop, that also, kind of pumped up your offense as well. Your offense has started to play pretty well, too.
Yeah, I think they were a little nervous. When we snapped that ball, 10 of them are underclassmen. 10 of them have never played in this game, and we're getting a lot of valuable experience, and we're going to get better and better and better as this game goes on.
Well, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Well, as you just heard in the Fred Loya Insurance Live quote of the night from Angela, you heard Coach Rogers talking about how they're getting better every time they snap the ball. They've got 10 underclassmen who haven't played here before. And that's what we talked about in those Wendy's keys to the game was continued improvement. We knew the team was going to struggle at the start of the year. That was a given. But as long as they get better throughout the season and they bring these young kids along, they'll be fine in the long run.
Hey, and no better game to start putting it together than right now.
You're going to need to.
Good rivalry game. All right, let's go up to the DFW area, talk about the regional top 5. Hey, we brought you the story with Dontre Wilson at DeSoto, and that team is right on top in our DFW Metroplex.
Yeah, Dontre Wilson's really talented, but what's really unusual about these teams, Jeff, we're going to talk about it more in depth in a second, is how close they're all clustered in the statewide rankings too. But DeSoto tops in DFW 5-0. Coppell right behind them, they're 5-0, but they haven't started district play yet. Same with Allen, who's 4-1. The one came courtesy of Coppell last week. That was an unbelievable game. We brought you radio on that one. South Lake Carroll in at 3-1, and Dallas Skyline in at 3-1 as well. Both of those teams should win big tonight.
All right, so games we're watching out for. How about Waxahachie and Lancaster? Lancaster up right now, 17-0 early on. KBEC Radio here on the call.
Oh, this was set up. Hughes 40, 35, 30. Hughes to the 25 before he steps out of bounds. And the screen set up absolutely the way it's supposed to. And Jake does a great job. He had to throw off his back foot with the pressure coming. But Trayvon Hughes catches it, turns it upfield. The Indians get a big first down on a gain of 18 yards.
All right, we also have E.J. Holland on site, the Dave Campbell's Texas football and Dallas area media extraordinaire, who can fill us in a little bit on what's happening with this early Lancaster lead. 17 points over Waxahachie right now. That is impressive stuff. Let's go ahead and bring in E.J. E.J., tell me, 17-0 right now from Lancaster. What's the story of this game so far?
So the DeMarcus Ayers show, he's been juking and spinning around Waxahachie defenders. The Washington State commit's really explosive, has 85 yards on the ground and a score. He's looked much improved as a passer from the last time I saw him against John Tyler. He had 79 yards through the air and another score. He's just been really the star of the game. On the defensive side of the ball, Lancaster's just been dominating the line of scrimmage. The only Waxahachie offense is Trayvon Hughes, running back, filling in for or coming in for Robert Lowe, who graduated in Texas State. He has 43 yards, but other than that, Waxahachie can't really get anything going. Like I said, DeMarcus Ayers has been really dominating this game.
EJ, real quick, do you think Waxahachie has the passing offense to try and get back in this one?
Well, Jake Burriel looks a little uncomfortable in the pocket. He's gotten sacked 3 times. He's completed only 50% of his passes. He's looks really uncomfortable throwing off his back foot a lot. I think if he kind of settles in a little bit and starts hitting Sargent on some little dinks and dunks, I think they can gradually get back in this game. Obviously, Waxahachie is a talented team as well, so if they can get it turned around in the second half with Verdell being more comfortable, then I believe they can certainly get back in this game. But the defense is going to have to step up and stop Ayers.
All right, E.J. Holland, we do appreciate it. We'll check back with you a little bit later on. So Waxahachie trailing right now against Lancaster 17-0. Wow, yeah. Irving MacArthur at Euless Trinity. And Euless Trinity, that tough non-district schedule, looks like they're starting to bounce back, up 21-7 now over Irving MacArthur.
Well, that's really all you can ask for if you're in MacArthur's shoes, is just be in a position where you're close enough to maybe steal this one at the end, because you know Euless Trinity is a cut above. I mean, they are just one of the top teams in DFW. Their quarterback, Matt Hawkins, is a big reason why. But looking at the MacArthur offense, they got two guys there who are pretty dangerous. One of them is quarterback Sebastian Taylor. He's already thrown for 698 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's rushed for 380 and 6. Then at the running back spot is Jordan McNeil. He's rushed for 520 yards and 4 touchdowns. You put those two guys together, I mean, they're going to beat a lot of teams. I mean, they should be a playoff team from that district, which is tough and deep, but I think they're good enough to get there. A win over Euless Trinity would be gravy. They don't have to have it, but it certainly would be nice and a strong indicator for where this program's headed.
The Mesquite schools had a big week last week against East Texas. Right now, we've got Mesquite taking on Rockwall Heath, scoreless in the second quarter.
Well, that's pretty surprising, because these are two really good passing offenses, and I thought we may be something on the brink of shootout in this one, but zeros in the second quarter kind of defies that logic. For Rockwall Heath, it's quarterback Chase Schultz, who's pretty good, and then Alex Cooper from Mesquite is just ridiculous. The quarterback there, he's got 1,400 passing yards so far in 13 touchdowns. I mean, it's week in and week out. He's a 302 or 3 guy. I mean, he's just that consistent right now.
I think the wind kind of playing a factor all across North Texas into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. How about Lake Dallas at Byron Nelson? Right now, Byron Nelson up 21-7 at half.
You know, all I can tell you about this one, because I saw Lake Dallas play a little earlier in the season, is their quarterback, Marshall Dominy. He doesn't do everything really pretty, but he certainly gets it done. He just has this aura, something about him where he seems to get the job done. He's going to be facing a tough task in the second half, because Nelson's not going to give you 14 points just to tie this one up. He's going to have to earn it. But still, he's just got something there that he always seems to make the play at the right time. I think Lake Dallas gets back into this one.
Crowley at Everman, another game we're watching out for in the DFW area. Right now, Crowley up 28-14 in the second quarter.
And that's tough for Everman, because they don't have any passing game to speak of at all right now. So it's going to be pretty tough to crawl back against Crowley. But I tell you what, Crowley's got a really good, talented kid, and it's running back Larry Cheeks. I mean, he's the man right now. He is playing really good football, running the ball very well. So if you can't slow down Cheek and you can't throw the ball, it's going to be a tough night for Everman in the second half if they can't change their fortunes.
Hey, look at this run by the Dallas-Fort Worth area teams. From number 4 to number 8, all DFW schools. And I might add, those are some impressive 5A squads.
And I mean, you know, Jeff, this is what we alluded to earlier. I've been doing rankings for a long time, and I can't remember seeing something like this, where one geographic region dominates one stretch of a ranking statewide like this. DeSoto, they're at number 4 in the state in 5A. Coppell's at number 5, Allen at 6, Southlake at 7, Skyline at 8. But also look at where they started. It wasn't far from that in the beginning. DeSoto started at 8, Allen started at 6, Southlake Carroll started at 3, and then Skyline started at 1. Coppell's the only one that you didn't know they were going to be as good as they are. So if you're looking for a talented area where the talent is just super concentrated, I think I found it for you.
Yeah, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, sensational football, especially this season. All right, Golden Triangle coming up next, but let's check in. Well, Angela's found a place warm.
Where is it? Take us there.
Guys, I have found a place that's warm. It's halftime, so I came immediately to the truck, and we're going to give you a rare sneak peek at what goes on behind the scenes.
Whoa.
We're going to start with Jim over here. He handles all of our tech stuff. Anybody who's calling in or Skyping into us, Jim handles it. Jim is awesome. He's the guy who you can thank for all of those updates on those football games. We move over to Scotty, who handles all of our video. Any highlights that you see during the show, we can thank him for having those. And then the highlights of the game here that we see just moments after they happen, because we can't show them live because of the rules, but Scotty gets them up for us right after they happen. And then Jesse is who makes us look good. He works on shading for us, and we have him to thank for us not being, too dark, too light. There we see Scotty waving in on him. So this is pretty cool in here. And I don't mean that literally. It's actually very warm in here, and I know you guys are jealous, but it's cool to see the sneak peek of inside the truck, and I'm having a good time with these guys. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Angela. Of course, Jeff Watts Productions always does a nice job here at the football games for us.
And that's only a third of the truck and about a fourth of the people. There's a lot more people involved in that.
Exactly. The entire Watts family, I might add. All right, Fox Football Friday. We'll roll along. We'll check in the Golden Triangle when we return.
about to bring down at halftime, but I didn't know we were going to be hitting right at the Fox segment. So we can try and push and – let's do it now. We'll get him in now. Yes. Yep. It's Jason Della Rosa, and it's DELLA space ROSA. It's cold down here, bud.
It's not that much warmer up there, to be quite honest.
DELLA space ROSA. Yes, sir.
Jason, what's your title?
I'm the sports writer at the Herald Democrat.
Okay.
Denison's is the main team that I cover. My editor's up there. He's the Sherman guy.
Okay.
All right, so here's how this is going to work. We're going to come back from commercial. We have to toss out to Fox for a couple minutes. They're going to do some song and dance. You'll hear them talking in your ear. They'll come back to us, and we'll ask you a couple questions for a while, and then we may just take you for a ride as we go through a few of these other games from another region. Okay. But we can't clear while you're here, so you may as well just stick around.
Yeah,
maybe. Just talk.
Check. Hello.
Sports writer, Herald Democrat. Sports writer, Herald Democrat.
Correct.
Liberal Russ making an appearance and then darting back to his sound cave.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you say that in Texas.
Yeah, easy, big guy. Why don't y'all settle down?
So are we going to bring in Jason for straight to the desk, sports desk, Academy Sports Desk?
We have to explain his presence.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Sherman and Denison. Yes, it's the Battle of the Axe, and Sherman leads it right now at halftime, 21-14. You see the Sherman band there, keeping everybody warm, feeling good down here. Cold front moving through the North Texas area. And Jason Della Rosa joining us now from the Herald Democrat, sports writer, and it's been a good game so far.
It has been. The last couple games between Sherman and Denison have been a little lopsided, and it's good to see that this one's going into the second half, and there's going to be an outcome that isn't yet known. The last couple times it's been, you don't want to say over at halftime, but it's been pretty much Sherman, taking control in the first half and kind of sitting on that, adding to that lead. But Denison's gotten better basically from week 0 to this point, and they're in a good position compared to the last couple of Battle of the Axes.
You surprised on how well they've played with so many young kids out there today?
I would say yes and no, because last week Denison had its best offensive performance point-wise and yard-wise, and they've really built on that momentum each week. They've gotten, like I said, they've gotten better every single week. So I'm not totally surprised, but the way the last couple games have gone between these two, it's not very close. And so you worry that there's going to be the carryover effect. When you lose 59-24, when you lose 39-0, and there's key guys. The quarterback has played in those games. You have defensive guys who have been in those games. And it makes you, I don't say nervous, but it makes you wonder how they're going to react, especially when the first play or second play for Sherman is a long touchdown, and you worry that the kids are going to go, here we go again, but the fact that it's 21-14 and it probably should be 14 at halftime, late Denison turnover there kind of hurt them, but it's been pretty good.
All right, Jason Della Rosa from the Herald Democrat. Let's take a quick Academy Sports Desk break. Check in with Rick Renner. We'll be back to talk about the Golden Triangle in just a moment. Rick?
You can go back if you want.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are all set?
You're good. Here, I'll take it. Thanks, bud. You did good. He'll get your seat. You're good.
Staying warm, feeling good. I'm glad to see Denison's hanging with it. That's good.
Yeah, I'm glad to see it too. I didn't have much hope.
When we pick these games early in the season, you don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just glad to see that they're hanging with.
I say when I think he sent me the email saying that you guys were coming up here before the season, I was like, well, it's about 5 years too late. I don't know if you saw this year by year.
Right.
About 5 or 6 years ago, every game was like 44-33, 40-30. I mean, every game was close, and they all came down, and they were good games. And Denison's kind of So it's.
This is the coming out night.
Well, see, 2 years ago it was 39-0. Denison didn't run a play in Sherman territory.
goodness.
That's how bad it was.
Wow.
So you would hate to have you guys come all the way up here
Yeah.
for a stinker.
Yeah.
So-
Last time I was up here, Hunter Smith was the quarterback at Sherman. Yeah, it's been a while.
He's really old. He's gross. Don't touch him.
That's actually the last time it was played this early.
This early in the season?
Yeah, it's never been. The last time it was this early, I think it was '93. So it's always at the end. And for whatever reason, now it's realignment and all that sort of stuff. It's stuck in the middle. I appreciate it, guys.
Hey man, thank you,
Hey,
Jason.
bud. Take care.
You never need anything from me.
I'll give you a call. I know where to find you. I'm gonna button my jacket because it keeps like blowing open.
Okay,
like a
I'll do it
show.
too. It's kind of cold. It's worth it. Got some more Leander Rouse highlights.
Ooh, it is really cold now. You're gonna feel a little pinch.
Okay, we got some St. Pius highlights. I'm gonna keep this St. Pius stuff cute. We just got some highlights in from St. Pius, St. Thomas. That game's tied 14-all at the half, by the way, St. Thomas.
What's that now?
14-all, St. Thomas. No Bermuda Triangle reference this time, Rick? All right, so the Golden Triangle regional top 5. Let's start off with Port Arthur Memorial. This is a team that coming off a great season, undefeated again this year, looking good.
Exactly, really talented. And remember, we said earlier in the year that their offense was going to take some time to come around. I think it has. I think they're officially in full stride now. Needleton comes in at 3-1. They've got a game against Livingston tonight. I think they'll be favored in that one. Vidor's at 3-1. They got a tough game tonight. We'll talk about that in just a second. West Orange Stark is at 5-0, and really maybe the story of the Golden Triangle so far. We'll also talk about them. And then Beaumont Ozan at 2-2 with a super running back. We'll talk about them. Just a second, we're going to talk about a lot here in the next couple minutes, I guess.
Well, let's get started. How about it? Vidor at Beaumont Ozan. Right now, Vidor leading at 21-10. What a job they've done in the last couple of years.
Well, it's really just this ground game and a little bit of Coach Jeff Matthews, who was our 4A Coach of the Year for Dave Campbell's Texas football last year. He's really that good. The funny thing about Vidor is we talked about them running the ball. I found a funny stat. They have twice as many first downs as they have even attempted passes. They just don't like throwing the football very much. For Beaumont Ozan, though, they can make up this deficit because they got a very good quarterback in Jordan Ozan, and they've got a very good running back in Jacoby Jones who can do a little bit of everything. He's very balanced. I think he has a chance to get him back in this game. But I will tell you, Vidor's got this one in Hammerlock because they play pretty good defense.
So West Orange Stark 5-0 at Hardin Jefferson, and they're out right now to a 14-0 lead in the third quarter.
Man, West Orange Stark, I don't know what they put in the water out there defensively, but they just don't give up points. That's all there is to it. Through 5 games, now this is their 6th game, they have only allowed 20 points so far this season through 5.5 games. What? They just don't give up points. Hardin Jefferson's been good defensively. They've gotten better every single week this season. But West Orange Stark is just on another level. They're undefeated. They've beaten a ton of the 4A teams in the Golden Triangle already. I really think that they are the story of that region so far this year, to the surprise of approximately no one.
All right, other games we're looking at. You see Warren and East Chambers. Game right now knotted up at 14 in the third.
Well, both of these teams run the ball quite a bit. East Chambers does it with their superstar Glenn Roberts. But Warren's been doing it really without stars, and it's really marked a huge turnaround for this program as of late, Jeff. They came into the season this year with one of the longest losing streaks in Texas. Look at that, 0-10 and 0-10 in 2011 and 2010. Then they started off this season 3-1. And look at the points. They've already scored more points this year, Jeff, than they did in all of 2011, all of 2010, and almost in all of 2009. They've just made a marked turnaround under a new coaching staff with new kids there, and it's made a huge difference. I'm glad to see one of the small schools from the Golden Triangle really finding a renaissance this year.
Okay, other games, Buna and Silsbee. Right now, Silsbee up 21-0.
I will bet you a shiny nickel that Silsbee quarterback Patrick Reed is pretty much doing it right now for Silsbee, because that's what it's been all season long. I mean, Silsbee's going to be heavily favored, but Patrick Reed is just the premier talent on the field in most of the games he's in. He's so productive, throwing and running the football, and really, we're kind of shaping up for an end-of-the-season matchup. I think they meet in Week 10 between Silsbee and West Orange Stark. West Orange Stark could be undefeated. Silsbee may only have one loss at that point. It would be a heck of a game at Golden Triangle.
All right, so how about Bridge City and Jasper? Right now, Jasper up the Bulldogs 14-0 in the second quarter.
Well, Jasper, they're really good, and I think they get overlooked a little bit because they have a loss, but that loss was to West Orange Stark. See, these West Orange Stark Mustangs keeps cropping up in this conversation. Other than that, Jasper's hammered pretty much everybody so far this year. It's a really good team. I expect they'll finish this one out and win tonight, too.
I can't wait to get out to the Golden Triangle a little later this year.
Sounds wonderful.
All right, Port Neches Groves quarterback Kai Walker injured 4 to 5 weeks. Some of the other top stories out there?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be tough for them because, you know, that offense under Brandon Faircloth throws the ball quite a bit, but he's got a thumb injury that's making it it's essentially going to knock him out for 4 to 5 weeks. So the new guy they'll bring in is probably going to be A.J. Smith, and he's got some skins in the wall already this year. He started the first 2 games, and he threw for 391 yards and 4 touchdowns throughout the season. He's a senior, but still, Kai Walker was the starter over the past couple weeks, and they were playing better. It's going to be an adjustment for P&G. It's not a death knell. It's going to be an adjustment, but it couldn't come at a worse time since they're really just now starting district play.
Okay, hey, before we get to the Hill Country, just got some highlights in from a game in that greater Houston area. St. Thomas and St. Pius, kind of a battle of quarterbacks, if you will. Cole Stewart, of course, the quarterback for St. Pius. He's headed to Texas A&M, handing off to Nick Kane here, 15 yards for a touchdown, and it was 7-0 St. Pius, but St. Thomas answers. Pearson Garnett, the keeper.
Wow, good
touchdown.
run.
8-7, St. Thomas. Move that pole out of the way. What is that? Then St. Pius defense comes up with the fumble in the end zone. Jalen Smith recovers 14-8, St. Pius. Right now, the game tied up at 14. Cole Stewart seems to be limited slightly, or possibly even hurt. Not throwing too much so far in the game, but it's 14 all. A little surprised by that one?
Not really. I mean, we knew both of these teams had a chance, and I'm just going to say, since I know you're a big jersey fan, red and black is the best jersey combination. So if your team is red and black, go put out on Twitter that we said that, because that is awesome. Red and black is primo.
Hey, speaking of red and black, Lake Travis is trailing right now to
Good
Bowie.
segue.
We are going to
Look
talk
at
about
that.
that when we get to the Hill Country in just a minute. Fox Football Friday coming back right in a few minutes.
You want to sit?
Awesome.
Thank you. Good?
Thank you, Val. Yeah, I don't know if we can get these highlights on. I'm trying to see if Brent has sent them yet. He sent me the list of plays, but you haven't received anything yet from Lake Travis, right? Yeah, Lanning's been good tonight. I'm going to text Hardy and see what's going on. He's out in Marble Falls, so.
Cedar Park's hammering the crap out of him.
Oh,
it was 35-7. What would we all do with our lives without Jeff Watts?
He's the halftime guy, though. Remember, he shoots for someone else. Wow. That's more than I make in a week. What?
I've never even seen that much money in my life all in one place. I don't think my house was worth that much.
Well, I do.
I want to do a segment from inside the truck. Is that a thing? That does not surprise me. I smell like over here sitting there staring at me, laughing, a little cocky attitude.
mean, I understand losing to A&M Consolidated, but, man, the back-to-back games against Bowie and Austin High, I'm kind of wondering what's going on.
Offensively, they're just not very good. And then, honestly, that's the God's honest truth of it. They're just not able to move the football right now.
Mayfield was kind of dinged up last week, but he's playing. And welcome back to Fox Football Friday. Sherman and Denison. It's halftime. Right now, Sherman leading 21-14. It is the Battle of the Axe. A great game so far here. And Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining here on Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Angela Heyman in the warm, cozy truck, I might add, but
don't
she'll be joining
in,
us from the sideline in just a moment. Let's move out to the Hill Country. Some great football going on down there in our regional top 5. Lake Travis, the top team, but they're kind of on the ropes tonight right now. More on that in just a moment.
I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure they're going to be there when we cycle back to this time next week. Vista Ridge in at 5-0 and 1-0 right now. There may be the surprise team of all of the Hill Country right now. Cedar Park at 3-2, 1-0. Leander at 4-1 and Georgetown at 5-0. Now, Jeff, I think you had a chance to catch up with Vista Ridge coach Rodney Vincent a little earlier in the week. Right?
Yeah, they've been kind of the talk in that greater Austin area, and Rodney Vincent just talked about the fact that they're off to a good start, and he's excited to see what his team can do this season. Rodney Vincent, head coach from Vista Ridge. Do we have that? Not yet. Okay, all right, we'll check back with that. Stony Point at Hendrickson, one of the games we're watching out for tonight. Stony Point up 13-9 in the third quarter.
I mean, I got to be honest with you. This is pretty much what Stony Point is. They were this last year. They look like they're going to be this again, where the games aren't going to be pretty. They're going to be low scoring. They're going to be awkward because the offense just isn't explosive right now. It's still kind of middling around. They're still trying to figure out what they're made of. But I can tell you, they definitely provide close football games. We've got another one tonight because they have played in 4 consecutive one-possession games. So I don't know if I'd call that playing to the level of your competition or if it's just that's where they are as a middle-of-the-pack team right now. But they are fun to watch.
Lake Travis taking on Austin Bowie. This game being played in South Austin. Right now, Bowie up 14-7. I can tell you that Baker Mayfield did have hand the ball off to Nixon for a touchdown and made it 7-0. But back in a big way has come Bowie. Dante Harris to Josh Suby for a touchdown. Bryson Hoskins got a touchdown. And right now it is 14-7. Bowie leading this one, and we'll have some highlights of that one just a little bit later on. Now, Rouse and Leander, this game very close so far. Leander up 14-7, and this game has been going back and forth throughout the night. Of course, Leander loaded with defense this year, and one of the big plays right here as Leander picking up the ball here, racing down the field. Yeah, that Leander defense, one of the top defenses in the entire state of Texas. Look at this, Caleb Woodward with the pass downfield. Nice little tomfoolery here, and the ball is caught, knocked down a couple players all the way down to the 20-yard line. Woodward decides to keep this one himself, and that'll make it 14-7. Leander on top right now, and yeah, Woodward having a great season so far. But hey, I tell you what, Rouse High School, pretty impressive season so far for them. Cedar Park at Marble Falls. Now, Cedar Park, one of those teams that got up to a slow start, played a tough non-district schedule, but look at this. They've been on a roll here lately. They beat Leander last week, and right now they're up 35-7 on Marble Falls.
Well, here's why this is impressive. Well, it's impressive for a lot of reasons, but they had not crossed the 20-point threshold Cedar Park had. They had not done that this season. So all of a sudden they've got 35 at halftime. So they've really exploded offensively. I bet you Ethan Fry, their do-it-all kid, has been a part of that. And the second half of that impressive start is that they have held Marble Falls to just 7 points. And remember, this is the Marble Falls team where quarterback Mike Richardson broke the state passing record for a single game just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, so maybe the defense at Marble Falls having a little trouble again tonight in this one. Now, Vandegrift at Dripping Springs, another game we're watching out for. Vandegrift off to a good start this year, coming off the great season the Vipers were from last year, up 24-7.
This has got to make Vandegrift feel good because from time to time, their offense has kind of failed it this year, but their quarterback, Forrest Threadgill, is very good. And I think what we're seeing is maybe that offense finally kind of getting comfortable in its own skin. We've got a 1,000-yard quarterback passing. Let's use them, supplement it with the run, spread it between some good receivers, and let's just get into a group. It seems that's what they've done. This would be a very big district win for this team in a very close and competitive 25-4A.
All right, now the 6-man game of the week. Austin Veritas and Round Rock Christian, one of the top six-man games. I'd like to check in with six-man when we can.
That's why we have the six-man game of the week. And on the phone, we are joined by Ken Capps, our official, one and only six-man correspondent. Ken, a big game for you tonight. Tell us what you've seen.
Oh, man, I tell you, it is great. And, six-man football in the Hill Country and the Austin area is huge. It's not Westlake, it's not Lake Travis, but these small schools and TAPS will hit you hard. And tonight it's Round Rock Christian Academy taking the hits. The Austin Veritas defenders up on the Crusaders 30-zip in the third. And, guys, this is a picture-perfect night in Austin. You can actually see the skyline from the six-man field. It just makes me really want to just jump in the car and head straight to 6th Street. But I'm all business here, guys. It's six-man football all the time. I've got a few more scores from around the state. Rankin 36, Ropes 24 at the half, Zephyr 62, Mullen 16, Mullen 45, and that game over at the half. And fellas, I've got a great treat for you next week for the video bumps. The Veritas Defender drum line, just for you all, okay, just for you guys, drummed and cheered on Fox Sports Southwest and the Dave Campbell's Texas Football. I can't wait to show it to you guys. You're going to love it. But right now, Veritas up 30. Oh, wow. Round Rock Christian just scored 30-6. 4 minutes left in the third.
All right, Ken Capps, appreciate that. And be careful down on 6th Street. We know six-man coverage, 6th Street, just rolling down there.
Easy, Kenny boy.
So the Veritas Drumline, we look forward to that maybe next week. All right, let's check in with Angela now, who's with the Sherman head coach. Angela?
Guys, I'm here with Coach Kenny. Coach, some of your big-time offensive stars like Drew Smith, Joseph Harvey, Trey Mass, they played really well in the first half.
I thought we had a good half offensively, scored 21. We got to eliminate the mistakes and the turnovers. If we do that, we'll be good in the second half.
What'd you say to them in the locker room, to get them pumped up for the second half?
Just got to eliminate the stupid penalties. Can't do penalties and turn the ball over. I got to keep playing good defense, quit giving up the big plays, and I think we'll be really good.
Did you use the axe? The fact that you hold that axe right now, you don't want to get rid of that. Did you use that at all to fire your team up?
Oh, there's no question. We definitely don't want to give that back. We like having it over there where we're at home in Sherman.
Obviously, Denison wants it. They came back from that 14-0 deficit, but you guys managed to go up 21-14. You had to be happy with that.
I was pleased with that. They're a good football team. They're going to hang around, and we got to come out third quarter and get some more points on the board.
Well, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, guys. That was the Fred Loy Insurance
All right, 21-14. Gary Kenny said that he's got his team fired up, ready to go for the second half. We'll see if their offense can get rolling. Third quarter highlights coming up for you. Fox Football Friday continues from here in Denison in just a moment.
Miss it.
And don't touch the black bag.
That's for Bruno.
I think I should scoot over. You're way over there.
Yeah, you seem pretty far. I'll scooch in it.
My legs are frozen. Man, of all the nights, all our Central Texas guys always getting us highlights early. Not tonight.
What was that?
Golly. Do you need some scores? I've got Midland leading 35-21 over San Angelo Central at the half.
There we go. Now we're friends again. Bum, ba-da-bum, 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 bum, bum, ba-da-bum.
Greg Sherman texted me, hey, I just got here. It's halftime. It's 35-21. Correct.
Talk about it.
How do I know there's not going to be any touchdowns in the second half? We pick it up with a score 35-21, and here's a handoff for 2 yards.
Give us a touchdown back there. Give us a touchdown.
welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Sherman and Denison doing battle. Sherman just got a field goal. They're up 24-14 right now in the third quarter. Why don't we take a quick highlight here for you as Sherman came out here to start the second half, and they didn't waste any time. Put some points on the board right away.
And you know that field goal wasn't made on our end because the ball didn't come crashing into our set because they kicked directly into the back of our set. But a great run there. Good blocking on the outside all the way to the goal line, except for a little laundry.
Yes, that was JT Looper with the run, but there was a flag on the play, so that one came back, and unfortunately, that yellow flag can be frustrating, can't
You
it?
see those white shoes? That's Coach Kenny coming down, and he was about as mad as a hornet. So they ended up losing the touchdown, but they did get 3 points on the board, 24-14, Sherman lead right now.
But not as mad as a yellow jacket.
I like what you did there.
Yeah, 24-14, Sherman leading Denison. Hey, some more Wendy score updates to get to you right now. We talked about some of the upsets. Lake Travis trailing right now 14-7 to Bowie. Now Keller Central and Keller all knotted up at 7.5 there. Mesquite leading Rockwall Heath. Now they finally got a touchdown there, 7-zip at the break. Argyle trailing Madison 18-14 in the second, and Manville all over Alvin 45-14 in the second.
That game was close for a little bit, but not for long. Austin Bowie leading Lake Travis right now 14-7. How about that? Port Lavaca Calhoun over Toloso Midway 28-7 in the third quarter. Pearland Dawson still working on Texas City 13-9 right now, just started the second half. And then Midland at halftime 35-21 over San Angelo Central. That's looking like a coin flip game and a shootout that I did not expect.
Yeah, the Wendy's real score updates. We do appreciate those scores rolling in. So Pearland Dawson, a team that ranked number 1 in the state. Well, I tell you, they're kind of having themselves a battle tonight right now, aren't they?
Well, I didn't think that they would walk through Texas City so easily. Let's go ahead and check the tail of the tape. That is Pearland Dawson in the black, Texas City in the white, and a touchdown. Oh, no, they're giving somehow that to Pearland Dawson. I guess that ball was incomplete, and then a costly mistake from Dawson. A fumbled shotgun snap in Texas City is all over it. They jump on top of it. Pearland Dawson would recover, however. Little play action fake there from under center. He's got a wide open man at the 40. I believe that's actually running back James White, who must have been on a wheel route. He makes a man miss at the 20, fins off another one at about the 8. He is into the end zone. It is 13-7 right now, or 13-9. Dawson over Texas City, but never say never on Texas City. They can still be in it.
I'm kind of surprised by that game with all that offense Dawson has, and they're being held in check. Stingeries hanging tight.
Look, I used to play Texas City in soccer growing up all the time, and there's one thing I can tell you is please don't ever count those boys out. It just makes them angry.
All right, so Dawson up 13-9. Now let's check in with Angela real quick and get a quick update here on the field. Angela?
Hey guys, well Sherman is almost to the red zone. Looks like they're going to score again. I expect more offense this half. Both teams' offenses are playing really well. Obviously Denison's offense stepped up in the first half. Like I said, I expect more offense. Let's see. Got a big stop there by Denison, so Sherman's leading 24-14 right now.
Angela, that's a couple of quick plays for Sherman right out of the gate. What are they doing differently coming out of halftime?
They actually doing the same thing. I mean, it was working for them in the first half. I talked to Coach Kinney. He said we just need to keep doing the same thing, need to stop making some mistakes. And actually, guys, I was talking to the coach when I came out, and I did think that 24-14 was an odd score. I didn't think they had enough time to kick a field goal, and they actually didn't. It's actually 21-14. So the scoreboard was wrong for a while, but like you, I thought they'd kick the field goal while I was talking to the coach, but it's 21-14 Sherman right now.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Angela. And they had a touchdown already called back, and now we're taking a field goal off the board that never happened.
That's 2 called back. Remember, they had the 99-yard touchdown run from quarterback Drew Smith, and then that long one we just saw come back too. Coach Kinney has got to be out of his mind right now.
The Tony Dorsett run we talked about, 99 yards. All right, Fox Football Friday will continue from here in Denison. We will check in with much more from around the state when we continue right here on Fox Sports Southwest.
Can't see me shivering as bad as I am.
Okay.
Okay, hang tight. Let me see if I can get you some. It's been a very quiet night from them on Twitter.
By the way, Brent is telling me that we should have our highlights here in just a second. He was having some more Wi-Fi issues.
Madison 28, Roosevelt 7. Can you hear me in there? Kerrville Tivy, they were 24-10 over Buda Hayes. And by the way, that's Buda Hayes with only one D. Buda only has one D in it. Floresville 17, Harlandale 14. That may be all you get. Hang tight. 17, Harlandale 14. Brandeis is winning 23-6. And I guess they just started the third quarter. Brandeis is leading 23-6 over Taft. That's game number 3 on your list. And I guess they just started the third quarter.
Hey, does Dante Harris, that sound like a quarterback? Bowie?
Couldn't tell you.
Okay.
This set needs to have a fireplace.
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, as we take you behind the Denison sidelines there. Denison taking on Sherman, Battle of the Axe. Great game so far, separated by 1 touchdown. Sherman up 21-14. All right, let's take a quick Academy Sports Desk break and check in with Rick Renner, who has more. Rick?
No. Well, I know they lost Houston shooters to Comcast, and so they had a hard time filling in the blanks for that. Their Dallas guy, do what? Talk to Scales. I'll let you talk to Scales with that one. And then their Dallas guy was in Germany with the Mavericks. What's that now? I got some. I'm going to blow it here in just a second. I was trying to catch up. When we come back, I'm just going to say something real quick.
Yeah. All righty, Rick. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yes, let's go ahead and talk about that Alamo City area. Cibolo Steel, the team you want to start with when you go down to San Antonio.
Well, it's a pretty sharp regional top 5. And by the way, if you're just checking in there, make sure you do check by or stop in at that Fox Sports Southwest site and check out the things that the Fox Sports Southwest girls are showing you. It's kind of cool stuff, sharing photos and videos like that. We can use the videos for highlights during the show. It's pretty awesome. Looking at the River City top 5, Cibolo Steel, that's a no-brainer at the top, Jeff, aside from maybe Smithson Valley, who creeps in at number 2, and they're just a step off the pace. Both teams will be starting district play quite soon. San Antonio Brandeis is in action against Taft tonight in district play. They have a chance to improve to 4-0 in district, which would almost assuredly clinch a playoff berth for them. San Antonio Madison is in action against San Antonio Roosevelt. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And San Antonio Brennan, they won last night over San Antonio Brackenridge to improve to 5-0 on the season.
Okay, so Buda Hayes right now taking on Kerrville Tivy, and I'm kind of surprised by this one. Tivy up right now 24-10. This game taking place in the third quarter. Let's look at a little KERV radio. What do you say, guys?
Play. Kimbrough's got a crease down to the 5. Touchdown.
Now you get a flag.
For what?
You got a hit halfway through the end zone. Going to be thrown on Tivy. Going to be marked off on the kickoff.
Wow, official.
That was Caleb Kimbrough with the touchdown. You got for what? You got to like that little call right there. That's the beauty of high school football. A lot of the broadcasting out there, you know which team they're pulling for.
Thank you, KERV Radio. Worth noting that Tivy was up 17-0 in this game before Hayes came back. And look at what Tivy does offensively. I mean, they've had some pretty good quarterbacks. This year they've got Parks McNeil, the same guy they had last year. These are total yards. So last year, Parks McNeil over 4,000 total yards, 48 touchdowns. And then you may have heard of the guy from 2010, 2009. He goes by Johnny Manziel, also known as Johnny Football. Yeah, sure, only the guy that has just been tearing up the SEC for Texas A&M as of late. Look at what the numbers he did his junior and senior years. And before that, it was Colton Palmer, and Johnny Manziel played a little bit that season as well. When you're looking for big-time quarterbacks that can rack up total yards, passing, running, doing pretty much everything, Tivy's your team.
San Antonio Madison at San Antonio Roosevelt. Right now, Madison up 28-7 in the third quarter.
And it was 28-0, I believe, at halftime, too, because Roosevelt just got on the board on a long touchdown. Or actually, I'm sorry, a short touchdown, but Madison out to the quick start. And Roosevelt, I mean, this is probably the best team they've played all year. They've beaten 4 pretty good teams, but the best team they've played was Austin Bowie, and they lost to that one. Austin Bowie, by the way, tied with Lake Travis right now at 14.
All right, San Antonio Taft and San Antonio Brandeis. Right now, Brandeis rolling 23-6 in the third quarter.
Well, you knew if Taft wanted to win this game, or at least stay in it, that their defense had to perform well, because the Brandeis ground game is awesome, especially when you get Trenton Inkland back in the game, and he is back now. He missed weeks 0 and 1, and look at the rushing yards, 162, 179 for the team. It's not bad. He came back in week 2, and all of a sudden, look what happened. 332, 283, and 347. He completely reinvigorated that offense in the ground game. It's made Brandeis a much better team. The only game they lost was in the opener to Smithson Valley. That's why they're 4-1. But with Inkland back in the lineup, that's as good a team as you're going to find in San Antonio.
How about San Antonio Harlandale at Floresville? We had a score updated earlier. Now it's 17-14. Floresville leading this one.
I can dig it. 2 teams going on for a heavy-hitting slug out right now. They are really going after it. I thought Floresville maybe wanted to win here, but this game has played out to their advantage. I don't think they wanted a shootout at any point in time tonight. That was probably Harlandale. That was probably their desire, because they've been red hot behind quarterback Brandon Ramon and running back Nicholas Martinez. But when you can keep this score low and ugly and off kilter, I think that plays to Floresville's advantage.
All right, Rogers at Blanco.
We're still looking for our score update for this one. So if you've got it, send it to @DCTF or use the hashtag #FootballFriday. I promise you we'll find it from there. We'll pump it out to the screen. But I can tell you that the Blanco team really cues off of its defense. That's when they play their best. You know, they can go with a shootout if you want, but I think they want to cue off their defense and turn it into offense. But Rogers' offense doesn't give defense as much chance to breathe.
Hey, we just had a touchdown here. Sherman just scored. Let's check in real quick with Angela and find out what happened. Angela?
Hey guys, well, it's kind of been a fumble fest. There have been 3 fumbles in like the last 5 minutes. You're going to see this first fumble here by Denison. Sherman would recover the ball. Drew Smith would keep the football. He'd set up his own touchdown. You'll see his 1-yard touchdown keep. They capped that off with the extra point. It's 28-14 Sherman right now. But like I said, Denison Denison would get the ball after the Sherman kickoff. They would fumble it, give it back to Sherman. Sherman would fumble it right back and give it back to Denison, and now Denison is driving the ball. Back to you guys.
I can tell you right now why they're fumbling. It's because it's cold outside. And you haven't gotten to practice cold weather yet. And a lot of especially for Denison, a lot of these guys are young. I know you live up here in North Texas, it's cold all the time. But when it gets really cold like this, you're not accustomed to it yet. Your fingers get numb, your arms get a little bit numb. You just lose some of that tight control in that football.
Sure. Okay, Fox Football Friday will continue from here in Denison. In just a moment, we'll break down El Paso when we return.
That sounds fun.
Got some more highlights from Jim Lanning. Jim is out to a 3-0 lead so far. Well, 3-1 on Robert. Oh, there's Brent Nordling. Just got some Lake Travis highlights.
Okay. There we go. Get some blood moving. Okay. Now I feel like a human being again, but barely.
We just got Lake Travis highlights.
Oh, good. Well, we just mentioned it the last segment. Could be timely.
They'll wake up. They'll have a big second half. I think they're kind of stinging with injuries.
Why don't we
just got a bunch of highlights in.
Well, we can do the Lake Travis highlights off the top, and then we can keep Joe Fan on the phone for a while. There's no reason not to. We always have to cut him quick. He doesn't have a game to get back to tonight because he's not broadcasting, so we can keep him as long as we want.
Hey, this will be a good time to tell you, Crystal's not going to be able to help us tonight, Jeff, but she will be with us next week.
I can kind of talk extemporaneously about El Paso for a while.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today.
And welcome to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. This is me right here inside the mascot uniform here, the yellow jacket. Okay, it's not me. But we're powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Sherman and Denison, Battle of the Axe. It's 28-14 right now, Sherman leading.
Well, if you're just now joining us, this game has kind of been a little bit back and forth. You know, Sherman jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead, and then Denison turned some defense into offense. They stopped a field goal attempt, or fake field goal attempt, I might add, recovered a fumble, pushed back into this game, tied it at 14, and then Sherman's obviously added your last 14 points on. So, kind of seesaw right now.
So it's kind of been that first quarter, third quarter for Sherman so far with getting out to the 14 points on both sides of it.
Which can't be surprising because Denison's got so many young kids, and young kids are usually susceptible right out of the gates and right out of halftime until they kind of get into the swing of things.
All right, the El Paso region. Let's go out to the regional top five. Of course, Franklin undefeated and deservingly on the top.
Well, they passed up Montwood for the first time all season because they won last night to go to 6-0 and 3-0 in district. Montwood at 4-1 right now. El Dorado in at 3-2. They lost to Montwood last night. Chapin at 5-1. They won last night with a very good defensive effort. And then America is at 2-2 and 1-0 in district play.
Chapin looking good. El Paso at Burgess, one of the games we're watching out for here in week 5.
And I think a game that everyone's looking for because Burgess's running back, Aaron Jones, the 4A cover boy, we've talked about him a lot this year, he's still out with a tweaked knee. We don't know when he's going to be back exactly. But how they play with him out, I think, goes a long way determining, how good they are in the playoff race and then what they do once they actually get to the postseason because he's a dynamic player, and they're good without him, especially defensively. Let's check in with Joe Fan now, our El Paso voice of El Paso, dare I say, who can tell us a little bit about what this one has looked like so far. Joe, what does this one look like so far for you? Burgess 7-3 over El Paso.
I barely can hear you guys, but I hope I'm on the air. Burgess leads 7-3. We're just starting the third quarter, and the big question I know you guys want to know is Aaron Jones playing? He's been out for the last 2 games, the star running back, or one of the top running backs in the city of El Paso. Well, he is playing tonight. Aaron Jones, 8 carries, 72 yards. The big one was a 47-yard run that set up a touchdown 5-yard run by Aaron Jones in that second quarter. And that's how Burgess took the lead over El Paso High by a score of 7-3. His twin brother Alvin has 47 yards on 4 carries, as he is quarterbacking the Burgess Mustangs team tonight, thanks to the fact that he has taken over that quarterbacking helm, the twin brothers. So again, with 11 minutes left in this third quarter, Burgess leads 7-3 over El Paso High.
All right, Joe Fan, we do appreciate it. Always good to hear Joe Fan out there. 7-3 Burgess leading El Paso. How about Riverside? In fact, let's just real quick, that lone wolf we were talking about, the solo effort from Bryant Wolf.
Well, he was a really talented kid, and look what he did. Last week for El Paso High, he had a 61-yard rushing touchdown. That's a pretty good day. He had a 62-yard interception return for a touchdown. Okay, now you're having a great day. A 75-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. All right, well, now you're obviously getting high fives from everyone in the family when you get home. Then he had 2 other rushing touchdowns to boot. Altogether, 243 offensive yards. That doesn't even include the interception return for a touchdown. So Bryant Wolf, holy smokes, that is a day for you to remember, and a good win for them last week.
All right, so Riverside at Canutillo, this game at the half, Canutillo leading right now 14-7.
And that's about as many points as Riverside's ever going to give up, because they're very good defensively. But Canutillo getting off to a good start. And it seems like every week, Jeff, we're kind of glossing over some of the 5A matchups in El Paso, partly because they keep playing on Thursday, which is getting really annoying. Play on Friday so we can talk about you. But also because the 4A districts in El Paso have been very tough, very competitive. And both of these teams are right in the mix. I mean, you can't say it's over yet, but losing this district game puts you in a bad way because you know this is a team that's going to be right on the bubble, probably the same as you are.
All right, Parkland at Horizon. This game also being out in the Mountain Time Zone out in El Paso area. Of course, they start an hour behind the rest of us, but
really confusing.
But anyway, Parkland and Horizon doing battle right now. 9-0 Horizon leading at the half.
I mean, literally take everything I just said and run it back verbatim. And that's what you have here, too, because Horizon is also an extremely good defensive team, as you can tell by the 0 points in the first half for Parkland. Now, for Parkland, I almost would say this is a must-win because they're already 1-2 in district. And in this district, if you start 1-3, I mean, that's a long climb back to the top. It's going to be really tough to work your way back into contention. And right now, they're staring that kind of result in the face if they can't get the ball moving a little bit.
Okay, so how about the Wendy's real score updates for you? Kind of break down some more games across the state of Texas, and then we're going to roll some highlights for you. Games that are kind of standing out right now to you across the state. What are your thoughts? Any quick little updates?
Well, so far, I mean, the biggest one is probably Lake Travis locked up with Austin Bowie, tied at 14 right now, which is a really big one for them. I also saw Waxahachie and Lancaster. We've talked about them a lot tonight. Right now, Waxahachie trailing 24-14. A bunch of El Paso ones right now. Socorro and Eastwood locked up at 7 at the half. EP Austin over Irvin right now, 28-7. And Americas over Bel Air, 38-0. A couple other from El Paso I can add. Hanks is over Isleta right now, 33-0. Hanks looks really good after dropping down to 4A. I think that could be great for that program. And then El Paso Del Valle is up over San Elizario, 22-0.
Okay. All right, let's go to the greater Austin area. We've got highlights now rolling in from that Central Texas region, the Hill Country as we call it. And here we go, Bowie taking on Lake Travis. This is Baker Mayfield, the head quarterback there for Lake Travis, to Varshawn Nixon. Look at Nixon go. Nice little stiff arm there, moving down the field. Good little run right there. Now, some more action here for you. That's looks like Nixon again around the corner, and he's going to bust it in for a touchdown.
And he's running well tonight.
Yeah, 7-zip right there. Lake Travis was on top, 4:37 to go. Yeah, high fives for everybody. Nixon pretty excited. Now Bowie's Dante Harris will find Josh Subi right here. Nice play right across the middle. That'll set up a touchdown by Bryson Hoskins. Check out this touchdown run, and we're all knotted up at 14-7. Bowie, one of those teams in the Austin area that just gives Lake Travis and Westlake fits every year, it seems like. Bowie, Steve Johnson in for a touchdown run here. It was 14-7 Bowie. And in the third quarter right now, it is all knotted up at 14. They are playing in the third quarter. Lake Travis has just scored, so it's 14 all in the third.
And I tell you what, this is a big proving ground for Lake Travis, Jeff, because right now I think I can both agree they're not playing at a state title level right now. We can agree on that. But at least winning this game would delay a little bit of the inevitable of seeming to lose the next game, to just keep your season alive, keep playing as good a football as you can until you can get past this rough stretch and get your mojo back.
Okay, let's check out the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Some highlights rolling in from the DFW.
This would be Keller and Keller Central. We checked on this one a little bit earlier. A good rollout play, a little scramble here, and picks up a great block, squeaks into the corner of the end zone. Jeff, this one was locked up at 7 for really just this side of forever. It was tied up at 7 early, was tied up at 7 at halftime. Man, I tell you what, if you're an aficionado of blocking, you got some good ones on those two plays. Another block on the outside. Keller, 13-7 right now.
There's an ambulance that's actually been brought out to the field. A player injured in the game, perhaps a neck injury. We don't want to speculate, but the game has been placed on hold. Fire truck there as well. So we are definitely praying and hoping for that young individual to be okay. But Keller leading Central right now 13-7 in the third quarter. All right, let's check in with Pearland Dawson and the Greater Houston area, number 1 team in Class 4A. They are getting all they can handle from Texas City.
Oh, a little dump-off pass right there into the end zone for a score for Pearland Dawson, and those have been really hard to come by tonight because Texas City came in with a great game plan. The running game has been spectacular for them as well. A great run up the gut. There was nothing there. Bounce it out to the outside. A little 21 for Texas City. We need to figure out who that is. He's having a mighty fine game tonight. Keeping Texas City in. It's 32-22, which is the weirdest score ever. 32-22 right now for Dawson. But Texas City still within arm's reach.
Yeah, so Texas City kind of hanging right there, but more highlights and scores rolling in from all over the state of Texas when Fox Football Friday continues from here in Denison, where it's 28-21, Sherman leading. Grasp of what's a highlight. I think it's pretty obvious on this show. We need touchdowns. I mean, we don't have time for 5-yard runs.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I guess that Vista Ridge SOT, it just doesn't play or something. Is there something wrong with it?
Oh man.
No, they're off tonight. Yeah. What? I'm talking about, I was wondering, first of all, about the Vista Ridge SOT, if there's something wrong with it. But they're off.
The highlights of the 2 scoring plays.
We should.
Touchdown.
Denison and a Sherman.
So Sherman's rolling now. That's 3 touchdowns in this second half.
Cedar Park's pummeling Marble
Jet.
Falls.
Are we just going to show the touchdown plays?
Good question.
I would think. We've had several. And welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Sherman and Denison, some offensive fireworks here in the third quarter, 35-21. Right now, Sherman on top. Let's go ahead and show you how they got to this point. Let's check in with Angela Heyman down on the sidelines. Angela?
Thanks, guys. Well, we've had 2 touchdown plays since I talked to you last. We're going to take a look at both of these highlights. I want to tell you that Clifton Hines, the Denison quarterback, he did a lot of work on this drive. He kept the ball for several plays, and you'll see he'll keep it again for this touchdown. That would make the game 28-21 with Sherman ahead. Then Denison would kick off to Sherman, and you'll see this long touchdown pass from Drew Smith to his big wide receiver. It's a run to his big wide receiver, JT Looper. He'll go all the way, and that would make it 35-21. So now Sherman is leading 35-21. There's about 30 seconds to go in the third quarter.
All right, so a lot of offensive fireworks here in the third quarter, and Sherman doing what they did at the beginning of the game. They got out early, a couple touchdowns, and they've done it here again in the third quarter with now 3 TDs in the third.
Yeah, I checked with some of the coaching staff early before the game, and they said, our offense is largely reactionary. Depending on what Denison does, how many guys they put in the box, that'll determine, whether we throw or run, what have you. That one's a pass. That last touchdown, it almost a run because it's pretty much a sideways pass. It's essentially just an extended handoff, but it works really well when a Denison defense comes and puts a lot of guys in the box.
Yeah, so the Denison defense making big plays early on in the second quarter, but not so much here in the second half. All right, let's go out to East Texas now and talk about some football in the East Texas region. Let's begin with John Tyler and White House, a couple of good-looking teams out there.
Yeah, a bunch of really talented teams in East Texas, obviously headlined by John Tyler. Their only loss so far is Lancaster, which is a team we've talked about a lot tonight. Yeah. White House is undefeated, and I tell you what, they are looking for a big matchup at the end of the season against John Tyler. That could be a very big game. Longview's at 3-2, fading a little bit. Kilgore at 4-0, looking very good, even though they've dropped down to Class 3A. And then Gilmer in at 4-1.
All right, Kilgore at Bullard, one of the games we're watching out here right now. Kilgore leading at 19-14. Let's check in with Panther Radio as we join them in progress and find out what's going on.
The officials immediately threw flags, I think 2 officials did. That's going to be a 15-yard penalty right there. Unsportsmanlike conduct will still move the chain even after the hit. Kilgore burying themselves, and I like to see that.
Well, Sal had his hands on, took a massive pop. There was a slobber knocker that came loose. And like you said, the penalty flags have been thrown. The red team, the Bullard Panthers, are trying to take care of their wide receiver, and coaches got out there. And so we're waiting now. The referee turned the microphone on the win. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call against Kilgore. The umpire is going to keep marching. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the Kilgore 45-yard line. There we go. Donnie, it's very important for the Bullard Panthers to keep their composure.
So it's 19-14. Bullard leading Kilgore right now. I believe you said that game just moved into the fourth quarter, and I love the slobber knocker response right there. And
well, Kilgore's been specializing in because they've gotten very good defensively, especially this season. Last year they were pretty good at it. As part of the reason they played 14 games last year, went deep in the playoffs in 4A. You can see about 20 points per game a couple years ago, 35.5 points per game a couple years ago, then 25.5 points per game the last 2 seasons. And then this year, well, they've bumped that average down to 3.3 points allowed per game. They're allowing a field goal per game. And that's about it. That is as good a defensive team as there is in East Texas right now. It's part of the reason they're so tough to beat and sitting at 4-0.
Tyler Lee at North Mesquite. We alluded to the fact that the Mesquite schools did really well last week against the East Texas squads, and it looks like it's happening here again.
And I tell you what, Tyler Lee just can't catch a break. Even when they seem like they've got some momentum, even when it seems like things are rolling their way, it just ends up crashing for them again. It's been a really tough ride for one of the more historical programs in state history. And North Mesquite, which is a good Dallas area team right now, is just really taking it to them. Offense for Tyler Lee has just been a struggle, but they are still in their first year under a new head coach, Daryl Piskey. Things can only get better from here.
Okay, other games we're watching out for, Chapel Hill at Gilmer. We talked about Gilmer being 4-1, 1-0 in district. They're trailing right now to Chapel Hill,
Chapel Hill,
20-14.
Signs of life. The EKG beeps back to life because it's been a struggle for them so far this season. Graduated so much from last season from their title team. I mean, look at the results. They lost in the opener to Lindale, lost a week later to White House, lost a week after that to Carthage. They beat Palestine, which is a good win for them. Then they lost to Henderson. And I know those are tough teams they lost to, but I mean, this was a group we were expecting to be possibly in title contention yet again. So a big win over Gilmer tonight, if they can complete it, would be colossal for their confidence level.
How about Wills Point at Princeton?
Well, tough game to get a read on. I mean, I would kind of call it a coin flip game almost. We know Princeton's got some offense. Oh, okay. Not a coin flip game. I did not see that result coming.
Wow.
If I didn't just get myself away, I did not see that one coming at all. But we knew Princeton had offense. That's what I was saying right before we popped the score up. And 51 points illustrates it. I mean, they can chuck the ball around everywhere. They got a lot of athletes, especially out wide. This team could be a dangerous one come playoff time.
Okay, so that's some of the games we're looking at in East Texas. Hey, potential upset out in the big country. Let's find out what's going on. And drum roll, little drum roll there.
I'm clueless. I don't know what it's going to be.
I was waiting for that little cue there. All right, Abilene and Cooper. We've been kind of waiting on these highlights tonight, and here we go. As you see Cooper rolling out, here's Abilene right here in the black and gold. And Cooper on the move, trying to make some things happen.
That's Kerry Sims, the running back, I believe, there, who's had a great start to the year off the right side. The Abilene defense maybe on its heels a little bit. And this is what that Cooper offense does. If that looks familiar, kind of looks like Vince Young and the Texas offense back in 2005. And guess what? Lorenzo Joe's going to Texas in a couple of years, running that zone read offense. And then Evan Abbey can't hang on to a wide snap from the shotgun. Cooper falls on that. They give the ball to Cooper. The Cougars now moving offensively again, and then more miscues tragically. Punt comes out. The ball is over the punter's head. Abilene falls on it in the end zone. That would be an Abilene touchdown. That would tie things up at 7. Emphatic response. Man, you can tell these kids are fired up right now in this one.
Yeah, KTXS with the highlights here, and they do a great job over there. I love that the tight angles they give us from up top. That's a good 100 yards away from where they're shooting up in that press box.
Evan Abbey on the double move, found a man deep, and then on a rollout near the goal line, he has got a touchdown, a colossal hit right on the corner. But Abilene still sorely tested right now by Abilene Cooper. It is 21-20 in the third quarter, and definitely still anyone's ballgame.
Yeah, great game. That game living up to the billing, 21-20.
I told you it would. I promised you they would give you a good game.
This one, 35-21 right now, Sherman leading. More on this one in a moment, and we'll also take a look at the Piney Woods when Fox Football Friday continues.
How are we doing on time, Jeff? We about on time now? Oh, man, I am bitterly cold right now. Oof. Oh, gee whiz almighty.
Hey, how the Rangers doing?
They were down by 1 in the 7th.
Ew. I got to get some runs tonight, man. Got Yu Darvish pitching.
Well, I think they're playing pretty well, defense or pitch wise.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. They're not getting him any support.
No, he's not getting much.
Okay.
Oh, Temple's getting hammered.
How they been since we left them last?
Not good.
I know they lost that game to South Lake Carroll.
Yeah, pretty badly too.
Yeah,
it's been a struggle for him.
You know, it's funny how 55 feels cold when you're not ready for it.
Well, that and I mean, it's
windy.
It's the wind. When the wind stops,
yeah,
it's not that bad.
And welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the Blitz, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Sherman and Denison, Battle of the Axe. And these fans looking a little bit chilly. It's a little chilly out here. What do you say we go to the Academy Sports Desk and check in with Rick Renner, who's probably warm and cozy and sitting by a fire right now. Rick? Ooh, wow. That Dawson Texas City game is a doozy.
Mm-hmm.
We have an update on Dawson Texas City, Jeff, if you want to score. Ooh. Lake Travis up 24-14 now, third quarter. I think Lake Travis is about to win. They're up 24-14, 2 minutes left.
Oh, yeah, that's done.
Can you plug this in, like charge it? I'll do without it for a little bit. Sorry. Hey, it does have two blades.
Just give me a chance. Just give me a chance, Rico.
Oh, Travis, you hurt me, man. You hurt me. All right, the Piney Woods. Let's begin with Lufkin, one of the top teams out in the Piney Woods. We saw them earlier this year. Didn't look too good against Longview, but they've kind of bounced back the last couple of weeks.
Definitely last week against A&M Consolidated. They beat them 71, I believe, 68 in 4 overtimes. You think they finally got a little bit of momentum, and quarterback Tyler Stubblefield was a big reason why. And I think they needed that because the loss to Longview really took some steam out of their sails. And remember, I mean, they're still going through a little bit of hurt when they lost John Outlaw in the offseason to his tragic early death. And it's just taking some time to adjust, but I think they're hitting their stride a little bit now.
Okay, and Montgomery right there behind him. That's a team we'll get to see next week when they take on Brennan. That game being played over at Montgomery.
All right, Huntsville in at 3-2. They hold the third spot. Cold Spring Oakhurst is in at 3-2 as well. A lot of twos in the records here. And then Jasper in at 3-1. It looked like they were en route to a win over Bridge City tonight.
Kirbyville at Newton, and this game right now, Newton leading at 19-0 in the third quarter. Let's check in with SETX Sports. Let's get a little action going on here.
Field goal formation. They do kick it. It's away, and it's good. So that makes our new score here, the Newton Eagles 32, the Kirbyville Wildcats 17. We'll be back.
There you go. Newton leading that one 32-17, and ask you shall receive. A good job getting that score right there for us. Now, the worm terms. Why don't you explain this, what it means with Newton flipping the script from last year?
Well, I think this score, the 32-17, kind of illustrates that Newton is the new front runner in this recent rivalry. And looking back at what it looked like over the past couple of years, I mean, 8, 9, and 10 all went to Kirbyville. A couple of those in convincing fashion, especially in 2010, a 41-6 drubbing. And then 2011, Newton all of a sudden, as we said, flipped the script, and they hammered them. I mean, 44-19. Newton just erupted behind running back John Shorter, and they look great. Once again, they're playing good football. They're not district rivals anymore like they were in 2009 and 2008, but it's still a big rivalry in that part of the neighborhood, and Newton's playing pretty good football.
All right, how about Carthage at Rusk? Wow, Carthage up 48-14, fourth quarter.
Carthage has always been a team that when they lose, which is not very often, when they lose, they come back with a vengeance. I mean, they hit you hard the next week. Scott Surratt, the coach out there, always does a really good job of remotivating a team after a down week. And offensively, they're pretty sharp, but the guy on the field that I was really interested in tonight might have been Chasten Bennett, the running back, defensive back, kind of does a little bit of everything. For Rusk, he's a really talented kid, and maybe their overlooked superstar all season. I mean, look at what he's done. 936 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns this year. He's got 54 tackles. He's also last year rushed for 1,400 yards and 21 touchdowns. And look at the defensive numbers. 126 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 4 interceptions. He's about as good as it gets. Credit some of these numbers to ETSN.FM. They're doing a great job tracking stats out in East Texas these days. But Chasten Bennett is doing some serious work for Rusk, even if they're losing tonight.
He does it all. Cold Spring Oakhurst at Cleveland Tarkington.
It's not good. I know the score. Don't look. Ouch! Yeah, Cold Spring Oakhurst kind of erupted, and they've been a little up and down this year, whereas Tarkington had one of their best seasons in a long time. But Cold Spring Oakhurst is just, they're kind of on another level right now. I don't know if they're at the same cut that they were a couple years ago when they were playing for a state title, but I know they're pretty darn good. This was a measuring stick for Tarkington. This is better than it would have been a couple years ago, I'll put it that way.
Mount Enterprise at Timpson.
Well, Mount Enterprise has got a big old back in Hunter Ammons, kind of a fullback, halfback kid, and only seeing 7 points on the board for Enterprise is pretty surprising because Ammons can put up 7 touchdowns by himself, much less 7 points. So I guess all the credit right now goes to the Timpson defense, which is doing a great job keeping that kid in front.
San Augustine at Tenaha. Of course, Tenaha coming off that outstanding season last year. They trail right now 26-20 in the third.
Look, we've got the Battle of the Axe behind us. It's one of the most intense rivalries in the state. This may be the game, Augustine and Tenaha, that I would not want to walk across the field aimlessly for. This one's been chippy all night long. These two teams are not terribly fond of each other, and they've been getting after it. Now, Tenaha, it's been a struggling start to the season, which no one expected, even after they graduated Reginald Davis. But you know they don't want to lose here. A, because you just don't want to lose to your rival, and B, because they're still trying to prove that they can be a title team this year.
I mean, how important is that quarterback position? Think about it. Reginald Davis, state championship. Without him, different team.
Well, I mean, it's been that way all the way across high school football, but especially when it came to Reginald, because he was a very good thrower of the football, but running, I mean, he was devastating to the average 1A defense. You just couldn't keep up with him. There's a reason why he went to Texas Tech. There's a reason why he was going to be in the equation early on in that program to get some playing time. But Tenaha still does return a primetime player and linebacker De'Aaron Rowland. If you're a college recruiter and you're looking for a guy to fill in the middle of your defense and you haven't found a linebacker for you, give De'Aaron Rowland a try. Pretty good kid.
Hey, got some scores to pass along. Dawson leading Texas City right now, 32-29.
No, it's final. I think it's done.
It's a final.
I think
okay.
it just went done.
So Dawson, the 4A team, going to hopefully keep that number 1 spot in their opinion there. And Lake Travis leading Bowie 24-14, 2 minutes left. Let's check in with Angela and find out what happened right behind us. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff. Well, Sherman just scored and went up 42-21 with a little over 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You'll see that Drew Smith is going to hand the ball off to his running back, Trey Mask, and Trey Mask is just going to walk into the end zone for 6. Like I said, Sherman's leading 42-21. They got the ball with about 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they've eaten up a lot of time on the clock, making it hard for Denison to try to come back.
Okay, Angela, 4:22 to play right now, so that was almost about a 6-minute drive right there. So Sherman about to put this one away, doubling up Denison right now, 42-21.
All right, the kid from the Keller game that was injured that we mentioned earlier was Kyler Merck. Quarterback, he has been taken to the hospital. We were not sure whether or not this was a neck injury or not. Regardless, going to the hospital is a serious incident. And as Jeff said earlier, thoughts and prayers go out to the kid and his family, the whole community. We hope that guy's going to be all right. If we hear anything more, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, Kyler Merck, quarterback, that game being taken place over in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh,
Cornerback, we should say. Keller Central and Keller in that game there.
Correct.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Fox Football Friday will continue here in just a moment. Sherman and Denison doing battle. We'll talk more about this game and much more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's that bone chilling feeling.
It's cutting you. It hurts. It hurts.
I mean, has this front made it through the rest of the state? Probably not. Not through.
What, the cold front?
Yeah. I mean, it's just coming through.
I bet you it's pretty cold in Dallas, buddy.
Yeah, but that's about it. We heard our 6-man reporter in Austin saying, it's beautiful. It's like 80 degrees.
I hate that guy right now. Jeff, if you guys want to clear out the Twitter queue, I can kind of refill it with some new stuff. A bunch of finals coming in right now. A bunch of finals. Seems like everyone's getting done early tonight. No one wanted to sit out in the cold, I guess. Okay, that's
cool.
a good idea.
Which team is the young player on? I didn't hear what. It's Keller Indian. Okay.
It's Keller.
Yep. I imagine we probably can get some video of that, right? We were at that game.
You want to be careful of that one.
Yeah.
If the kid's really badly hurt, the parents are going to get upset about that, rightfully so. I would not show it, no. It's always dicey.
Well, plus we don't know, how serious it is. And welcome back to Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Sherman and Denison. It's the Battle of the Axe. We are here in Denison, and right now Sherman up 42-21 with 3:34 to play. So it looks like the Axe will remain with Sherman. They'll get their little engraved score on there and their team victory.
And they'll let Angelo run around and swing it dangerously on the field.
Yeah, let's not do that. All right, Northeast Texas. Let's start off with Sulphur Springs. 3-2, but probably the top squad out there. They play a tough non-district schedule, and they're battling through it right now.
Well, we were giving Mount Pleasant the benefit of the doubt earlier in the season, but when they lost to Kilgore last week, we decided it was time for Springs, which had played a really tough schedule, to take over that top spot. Remember, these regional top fives compiled by the Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com content staff. Texas High coming in at the third spot. They are 1-3 overall. New Boston at 5-0, and I tell you what, I know they're 2A. They could keep moving up if they keep playing this well. You heard Rick Renner mention earlier that Damian Haskins, their running back, hadn't been tackled in 2 games. He's been playing that well. And then Paris at 2-3 coming in at the 5th spot.
All right, speaking of New Boston, they're taking on Dangerfield tonight, week 5 action. Look at this.
Love it.
31-all. Great game.
Love it. I bet you Haskins has been tackled tonight by that Dangerfield defense. Dangerfield really coming along defensively after a slow start to the season, but New Boston, Jeff, is the real deal. If Dangerfield ends up beating New Boston tonight, they've obviously got to be the real deal too.
Palestine and Pittsburgh.
Still looking for our score for this one. If you've got one, send it along. I think I saw some from the East Texas media outlets. Please send to @DCTF on Twitter. Use the hashtag Football Friday.
How about Mount Vernon at Pattonville Prairie Land?
All right, Mount Vernon playing good football right now. Pattonville Prairieland, though, keeping this one within reach. And Mount Vernon's got a pretty good defensive end who's put himself in the equation for one of the best sack masters in East Texas, if you want to call it that. And he would be Mason Cook, who has already rang up 7 sacks on the season. That puts him right in the middle of the equation in East Texas.
Okay, so Edgewood at Bogota Rivercrest.
Another toss-up game. We've seen a couple of these in East Texas this week where it seems like it could really just go either way. Looks like we're still maybe waiting for a score to come in on that one. We'll pipe it to you as soon as we have it.
By the way, is it Bogota or Bogota?
Depends on where you live within it. I call it Bogota.
All right, Maud at Honeygrove.
All right, Maud at Honeygrove. I like what we see here. Honeygrove, one of the more experienced teams out there in Northeast Texas. It's showing tonight against Maud, up 20-13.
And some more windy score updates to bring to you. We'd mentioned that Lake Travis was up 24-14. That game very late now. 2 minutes to play over there against Bowie in South Austin. So it looks like Lake Travis will pick up a victory there. All right, Fox Football Friday will continue from here in Denison in just a moment. Stick around.
I know Cooper's beating Abilene right now, 27-24 with 2 minutes left. So we may want to ride that at some point.
Cooper, and what's the score?
27-24 Cooper. 2 minutes left.
That's the game of the night.
Giving them everything they got. Oh, wow. Vider almost lost to Beaumont Ozan. Gave him a scare.
Abilene always has good running backs. Why is that? Because they just like
a lot of talent.
Just like to run
no,
that.
warming you up.
No, that's not helping. You're beating me up. I'm going to grab the axe.
I will disarm you and defeat you with the axe.
You know that blade on that axe is huge. See how big that thing was?
Yeah. I mean, I was standing next to the principal while she was showing it to me.
So what did they put on there? The score, like the winner and the score?
I don't know. I didn't get it.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. And by Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grill. Try one today.
Alrighty, Fox Football Friday continuing here from Denison. Sherman leading right now 42-21. Let's take a look at the Panhandle. Canyon Randall, the top team, undefeated and deservingly so.
Yep, folks, as we close in on the last 45 minutes of the evening, we're going to pick the pace up. So here we go. Canyon Randall 5-0, tops in the Panhandle. Amarillo a step behind, but they've got 2 really good losses on the resume. Wolfforth Friendship, their only loss was to Amarillo. Lubbock Monterey starting off really strong at 4-1. Canyon, the other Canyon ISD representative here, at 4-0 in the 5th spot.
All right, the games we're watching out for. Quanah trailing Wellington right now 44-14 in the 3rd quarter.
Super dangerous Wellington squad. Got a really good quarterback in Clark Ashmore. They played deep in the playoffs last year. Surefire lock to do so again this year.
Sundown at Forsan. Forsan's having a nice season so far this year, taking on Sundown here in Week 5 action up in the Panhandle.
And they're a very good defensive squad, and I think most people were going to favor them over Forsan tonight. We know they can run the ball pretty well. We know they can play defense. We'll get you the score on that one as soon as it's in.
Canyon at Monahan. There it is. Sundown up 43-0 on Forsan. Canyon at Monahan's. Another interesting game. Monahan's trail. Oh, game over. Canyon wins 24-14.
Remember, this was non-district and actually different classes. Canyon coming in from 4A. Monahan's continuing its difficult non-district stretch from Class 3A. Canyon a winner, but Monahan still proving it can play with the best of them in the Panhandle.
Lubbock at Perryton right now. Lubbock and Perryton.
Looking for a score here, but the big story with Lubbock, regardless of what the outcome is tonight, is that they won last week, I believe, against Andrews. That was a big deal for them because they had one of the longest losing streaks in the state of Texas coming into the season. If you look at just 5A, 4A squads, Highlands had 31 straight losses coming into the year. Joshua had 27, Scarborough had 27, Aikens had 25, Lubbock had 22. The only other school in that list would be Warren, but they were outside 5A, 4A, so I didn't include them. But almost all these schools have broken those streaks this year, so congratulations. Highlands, Joshua, Scarborough, Aikens, Lubbock, everyone, but especially Lubbock for ending a couple years of frustration.
And Jerry Berg's done a nice job over there at Joshua, kind of turning things around. Remember, he was a former offensive coordinator at Lake Travis, doing some good things with Joshua.
Got a record-setting son in the wide receiver, too. Permian actually beat Amarillo Tascosa tonight. That was one more game in the Panhandle to look at, and that was a big one because we talked about how bad Permian needed to win.
Yeah.
They got one. Almost didn't happen. I think the final was 20-17, but Permian squeaks one out at the end.
Okay, so a big win for Odessa Permian over Amarillo Tascosa. This game just went final 2, and they cleared out the scoreboard for us. But it was 42-21. Yeah, 42-21 the final score. Sherman defeating Denison. Hey, we'll be right back in just a moment. We'll talk about the Battle of the Axe, the presentation, coaches, and highlights and more. Fox Football Friday will continue in a moment. I think it should be good. Oh, okay. So, man, Joshua had a 27-game losing streak going into this year.
Hey, Angela, can you hear me? Angela, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Make sure to ask Coach if he's got any guys out there that he thinks are college-bound kids that guys should be taking a look at.
Okay.
About two. You want me to bring those guys over here, Mob, after you ask the last one or not? Sure. Hey, yeah, stand right in here, and then we can.
Hey,
Yeah, great. Perfect.
Those guys over here.
Yeah.
Get everybody over here.
Hey, Jeff, the team's gonna come over here and they're gonna hoist up the axe.
God love Gary Kinney.
Hey, are you looking for any more scores, Jeff? I just have an update on a couple here.
Hey, you got to be quiet. Hold on.
Hey, apparently.
Everybody stop! Everybody stop!
It's crazy.
Hey, get out the way!
Hey, apparently Midland was up 35-14, you know? It's now 35 all.
I just saw that too.
Yeah.
Hey, don't hit her.
Easy, big guy.
Put the axe down.
All right, before you guys celebrate though.
Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Angela Heyman down on the sideline. We have a final here. Sherman taking care of business, defeating Denison. In fact, why don't we go ahead and check in with Angela real quick and get an update from down on the field. Angela?
Thanks, Jeff and Travis. Well, Coach, you've got the axe back. A big victory tonight. I know you're excited.
We're very excited. Our guys played so hard. We worked hard for this. These seniors, this game's for the seniors, and they really played well.
Coach, before the game we talked and you said obviously you had a great team last year, but you told me that this team rivals that team from last year.
There's no question we had a great team last year, but this year's team, it's yet to be determined, but I tell you what, they're heading down a path to be better. No question.
And Coach, do you have any guys that you'd like to talk about that you know are going to be college-bound players?
Well, Kylie Woods on defense, everything starts over there with him. He's a great linebacker. He's got a lot of offers on offense. Joseph Harvey, JT Looper, quarterback Drew Smith, and our up front, our offensive line did a great job tonight.
Well, I know that this is a big win for the town. Town's going to be excited, and people are going to come up to you, grocery store, gas station, wherever you see them, and they're going to say that this was a successful season because you got the axe back.
There's no question about that. That's 3 in a row, and we're enjoying it.
Well, Coach, I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to let you and your team celebrate this victory.
All right, good stuff right there. And Sherman, very proud winners tonight, and they look really good. This was a game that went back and forth in the early part of the game. Let's kind of break down the highlights. A little tomfoolery here to get things started. Look at the pass by Drew Smith, wide open downfield. Joseph Harvey, that was a 55-yard touchdown play. Then it's Smith again with a handoff down low to Trey Mask. Trey Mask breaking to the outside, and he's in for the touchdown. Back comes Denison. They were trailing 14-0. The touchdown run up the middle by Clifton Hines. And then this TD play, check it out. Pitch back, the throw by Cook into the back of the end zone. Touchdown. Great job right there. But back came Sherman. Game was tied at 14. Here comes Mask again, rumbling through that Yellow Jacket defense. It was 21-14. Now, the third quarter was pretty much owned by Sherman. They really dominated the second half, played much better all the way around, offensively, defensively, you name it. Look at the nice run here into the end zone by JT Looper. And one of those kind of games as Sherman runs away with it in the end. Final score 42-21. So the axe, as Coach was saying, remains with Sherman 3 in a row. And but Denison played pretty tough, especially in the first half, and just a little bit outmanned there in the second half.
Yeah, they just got a little bit worn down, which you never want to say that's okay, but I think they were playing a better team tonight. I think everyone knew it because Sherman is legitimately a title contender. They've got so many weapons on offense, and Denison showed that their future is very bright under new head coach Chad Rogers, who showed that he's got a lot of ability there and that this team, again, has a very bright future.
All right, so a good game here, but Sherman does come out on top, defeating Denison 42-21. So highlights and scores roll in. Let's go ahead and take a look at some more Wendy's score updates and get you some finals as they're starting to roll in from all over the great state of Texas.
And there has been a lot of finals coming in. Jeff Carter beats Adamson tonight from Dallas ISD 21-17. Floresville finished off Harlandale in the low-scoring game they wanted, 24-21. Hendrickson, ugly low scores, 15-13 over Stony Point. And Leander Downs Rouse, 21-13.
Hey, we have got a memorable ending coming up when we come back here on Fox Football Friday as highlights and much more. Don't forget overtime at the bottom of the hour. Much more to get to. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Lead with under 2 minutes left. It's
And
Abilene
Midland-
31, Cooper 27.
Midland just took the lead on San Angelo Central.
So the story right now is 2-5A.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting to.
Sherman.
Okay, Cooper. Abilene just beat Cooper. It's final. Good deal. Oh, man.
10, 17.
I'm hurting right now.
Hey, if you're going to stay in that district, Jeff, we have highlights that just got in from Greg Sherman.
All right, bud. Let's finish out strong.
Yeah, these are the same almost, right? 19.
It's the exact
18?
same.
Yeah.
Exact same thing.
Okay. What?
He was acting like he was a little frolicking.
Kind of looks like a honey bear over there with all that brown and gold and got the.
All right. Big finish. Big finish.
Football Friday Blitz is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. Buy Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Buy Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club. In spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
All right, welcome back to Fox Football Friday. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine, along with the ride with us here. And highlights coming in from all over the state at the bottom of the hour. But let's talk about some of these big games here. Abilene and Cooper, this was the final minute here. Check it out, folks. Abilene and Abilene-Cooper, big District 2-5A game. Let's listen in.
Game's over. Well, you have to throw to the end zone. Yeah, I think you have to throw to the end zone, either touchdown or incomplete pass, and give you a potential of 2 plays. Play clock's running. Evan Abbey has come over to the sidelines to get the play. So 10 seconds to go in the ball game. Cooper leads 27-24. And the Eagles now with 10 seconds on the play clock, 10 seconds on the game clock. Here we go. From the 7-yard line, Abbey takes the snap, rolls to his right, being chased, throws. This one is caught. Touchdown Eagles with 3 seconds. Holy cow! It's tipped and caught in the end zone for the touchdown. I think it was Devontae Taylor, but I can't. Or was it Marcel Porter? Marcel Porter. It went right through the hands went right through the hands of Aaron Cantu, who should have had the pick. Aaron Cantu was right there. He threw into triple coverage on the rollout. Wow. Snap is down for the point after, and the kick is good with 3 seconds. Wow. Rick, you've got the drive. Yeah, the Eagles go 70.
You talk about a game of inches. You hear the announcers saying there it could have been a pick one way. Instead, it's a touchdown going the other way. Abilene, Cooper and Abilene, big game there. Abilene wins it 31-27.
And all you can tell Cooper and all you can tell the kid is, you know what? The sky will be there tomorrow, and the earth will continue to turn, and life will go on, and we'll adapt, and we'll get them again in the playoffs. That's all you can tell them.
Hey, there's been a lot of big games in District 2-5A tonight. Another game we've been kind of following. You know, San Angelo Central trailed 35-14 at one point to Midland. They tied it up 35-all, and right now Midland has just gone back in front 42-35.
Crazy games in District 2-5A, especially because Odessa Permian barely squeaked by Amarillo Tascosa a little bit earlier tonight.
So that District 2-5A kind of taking shape and form, and but there you see Midland up 42-35 in the fourth quarter. Some big country action, and of course Abilene with the big win over Cooper. Don't forget, folks, bottom of the hour, highlights, wall to wall. We will bring you a bunch of highlights. We'll talk to coaches. We'll have interviews. That's what Fox Football Friday is all about. Of course, we are here at the Sherman-Denison game, Battle of the Axe. Sherman wins it 42-21. Great game here. And Denison played pretty tough there, especially for the first half, but couldn't quite hang with the depth of Sherman there in that second half.
That's going to happen too. Remember, folks, in overtime, we're going to bring you a huge game in Houston that went final a few minutes ago with the top-ranked team in Class 4A. Stay with us for overtime.
All right.
Taft and Brandeis. Roosevelt Madison. Seguin. Who was Shirts playing again?
Lockhart.
Give me a minute.
So, Jeff, you said Taft, Brandeis, Roosevelt, Madison. What was the next one before Lockhart? Shirts?
Alamo Heights and Seguin. Madison, 42. Roosevelt, 21. That's final. I can help you with most of these. Just got to give me a second. Okay. Brandeis leading Taft 30-14 in the fourth. That's Brandeis 30, Taft 14 in the fourth. That's all I got on those. Sorry.
What was the other one you just said before, the first one?
I don't know. Madison 42-21 over Roosevelt. Madison.
Final?
Yes.
So we need Alamo Heights and Seguin and Lockhart Shirts.
Yeah, I know Alamo Heights and Seguin were locked up in a good one. I can't find another update for it.
I can get Lockhart. I know they're AD.
Okay. Yeah, you work on Lockhart. I'll turn to the other.
Welcome to Fox Football Friday. It's the overtime. You've got it. Fox Football Friday, powered by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. You're looking live at Denison and Sherman. Denison falls to Sherman tonight, 42-21, your final score. Let's go ahead and roll through some highlights. That's what the overtime is all about. We want to get you highlights quick and fast and furious. Let's go down to the San Antonio area. A lot of movie references there.
Yeah, I know, right? River City, I think we're batting leadoff with Brandeis and Taft, which is almost finished up right now. And Brandeis, we know, with running back Trenton Inklin, who is one of the best in the River City. And there's a lot of good running backs down there, but we know he is obviously in the equation. Brandeis there in the orange. I believe that's Inklin you see running the ball. Taft in the red. He found the end zone on the right-hand corner. It was offense early, often, and convincingly for Brandeis. High snap for Taft there, goes over the punter's head. Now he's just trying to make something out of nothing. He actually gets the kick away, which is pretty impressive, but it doesn't go much anywhere, and that would put Brandeis in key position. But there was an injury on that play. Scary moment. Not sure what the outcome of that one would be, but you see the all-important thumbs up there for the Taft player, who would be okay. 30-14 was that score, but Brandeis scored several more times late. It is now 51-14. Brandeis with seconds ticking away in the fourth quarter.
Okay, Roosevelt and Madison, another big game going on in the Alamo City. And Madison in the all-white uniforms taking on Teddy Roosevelt in the blue and white.
Now, we know that Madison's obviously got a couple of really good running backs in Galen McAllister and Marquise Warford, but Roosevelt came back and played good football in the second half. This was, I think, 28-0 at halftime. Madison, Roosevelt came back a little bit, but the Madison defense shut the door, and that turned the ball right back over to the Mavericks' high-powered offense, and they got all over it tonight, 42-21, a Mavericks victory, crucial in district play.
Yeah, so Madison looking good, 42-21. Let's stay in that San Antonio area. How about Seguin and Alamo Heights? Of course, Seguin looking good out there. They got a little whiteout going on, and Alamo Heights got the gold there, the mules, actually in the blue there, but Seguin back and forth. Seguin with the touchdown right here in the corner of the end zone. Was that kind of a little
I'm not sure what
jump
that
shot
was.
kind of look there?
I'm not very good at touchdown celebrations. good
basketball.
Pass and extension there from Alamo Heights for the touchdown. This game, folks, I'm not going to lie, a little closer than a lot of people were expecting, because Seguin had been a little bit on the rocks as of late. Alamo Heights is never on the rocks, but Seguin gave them a heck of a ball game tonight. This one is still very much in contention. Seguin ahead, but Alamo Heights could still come back and win it.
32-23. All right, let's check in with Lockhart and Schertz. This game being played down in the Hill Country, of course. And that is Lockhart Lions Stadium right there. And Sheila Henderson, the athletic director there, doing a fine job there with Lockhart. Here's the handoff right up the gut for the touchdown. And Lockhart in business early on. Back comes Schertz Clemens. Clemens on the move. Good deep pass, but it's picked off in the end zone. Nice defensive effort right there by the Lions. And Lockhart been hanging tough in this game all night long. Here's a touchdown run right up the gut for a TD. How about those Lockhart Lions? Making one of their, I think their debut this year on Fox Football Friday. But Schertz Clemens with the touchdown here in the back portion of the end zone. And we do have Clemens winning this one by a final of 36-14. So Lockhart got off to a good start, but they fall in the end.
We were in the River City. Let's swing it down to the Bayou City in Houston, where we've got Houston St. Thomas and Houston St. Pius. St. Pius in the black and red. Quarterback Cole Stewart. He is Gonski on the right side, gets a good block. He's got nothing but green and an end zone in front of him. There's a reason why he's going to be an SEC-bound quarterback going to Texas A&M. He's got the ability. St. Pius squeaks out a thriller tonight, 40-30 over high-powered Houston St. Thomas.
Yeah, that game back and forth. Okay, let's check in with Ray and Nixon. This game being played in the Coastal Bend. A couple of Corpus Christi teams battling. Ray with those cool-looking uniforms. You don't see too many teams with those kind of stripes on the shoulders.
Oh, it's one of my favorites. Laredo Nixon in the green and yellow. Beautiful deep pass there to the corner front of the end zone for Corpus Christi. Ray, a hard knock, but the ball stays in. That would be a touchdown. Ray on offense again. Zone read right up the gut is the quarterback. He has got pay dirt, so that would put them obviously 2 scores in the green for this one. Laredo Nixon looking to come back, though. Direct snap to the quarterback out of the shotgun. He immediately takes off looking for the end zone. He would have it. Another big play. A lot of big plays in this one, Jeff. A thrilling affair. Corpus Christi Ray would win it by a score, 43-35.
So the Fighting Farrah Fawcett's win it 43-35. Had to slip that one in there.
Yes, you did.
All right, Prosper played Frisco Centennial, and Prosper's head coach Kent Scott joining us now after their nail-biter, 38-36. Coach, give us your thoughts about this game. It went down to the wire, huh?
Yeah, I did. Travis, are you there?
Yeah, Travis is here. This is Jeff Power. Coach, we got you on the air. Tell us about the game and how it shaped up.
I just want to make sure it was so close. Travis messed up my mojo by calling me during a pep rally today.
Yeah, I did do that, but I promised you I would ask you about quarterback Davis Webb. What did you get out of him tonight, Coach?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Davis had, I don't know what the numbers were, but did a tremendous job. You know, took us on it was a 70 or 80-yard drive right there before half to go down and score to tie it up with just no time left on the clock in the second quarter. And, you know, he did a great job. And Torrey Hunter had a big night tonight, had an interception return for a touchdown that put us up on him there. And I believe that was in the late third or early fourth. Really proud of the boys and their effort. They did a tremendous job tonight.
All right, Coach, since I messed up your mojo earlier, I'll let you go reclaim it with your team now. Congratulations. Big win. We'll catch you again later in the year, buddy.
Appreciate that. Thanks, Travis.
You take care.
Bye-bye.
All right, so Prosper wins that game over Centennial by 2 points, and Torrey Hunter with the touchdown.
Coach Scott calling me out. I guess I deserved it.
Fox Football Friday returns in just a moment. More highlights and interviews to get to. We'll be right back.
Football Friday Overtime is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club in spicy, home style, or grilled. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
All right, Jeff, what sponsor element do you want to do? Wendy's will do. Kilgore Bullard was a good game. Kilgore won. Can you give me those games one more time? I'm so sorry. I missed it. Oh, that was a huge upset. Spring Hill beat Gladewater. It was a massive upset, Jeff. Great job from Scotty in the truck right now.
Gladewater's playing who?
They lost to Spring Hill in a massive upset. Oh. Alamo Heights beat Seguin 39-32, so we had that score backwards.
Well, at least his game turned up pretty good. A lot of offense.
Sorry. Never mind. Ignore me.
Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the overtime. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart joining you. We're, of course, sponsored by Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine. More highlights to get to here, and let's don't make anybody wait. How about some Wendy's keys to the game, first of all?
Exactly. Recapping the game we just saw behind us, Sherman beating Denison. Start at the top for those keys to the game, and the first one, obviously, was Sherman's first quarter, and they got off to a good start, 14-0 over Denison. Denison came back, but Sherman pushed the pedal to the metal again in the third quarter. Steady improvement. I mean, we saw it. Denison played the best game they've played all year. Still wasn't quite enough to run with Sherman. busy day for Denison defensive backs. It was. Sherman really stretched the field early and often off that big arm of Drew Smith, and it paid off. Beginner's luck. Chad Rogers' team played well in Chad Rogers' first year at Denison, but it wasn't good enough to beat Sherman tonight. It's a pretty good Bearcat squad.
Okay, in the final again, 42-21, Sherman over Denison. All right, let's just keep on rolling right through here on Fox Football Friday overtime. As you see the final 42-21 here, Sherman over Denison in the Battle of the Axe. That's 3 straight Battle of the Axes now for Sherman.
2 quick finals that we just had from highlights. Alamo Heights did come back and beat Seguin. Brandeis beat Taft. That one's final.
Okay, all right, let's roll some more highlights. Let's go down into the Hill Country now, Central Texas area. And this game being played between Leander and Rouse. And a back-and-forth affair. We've talked about Leander's defense all season long. They make some big plays. Of course, Caleb Woodward, their quarterback, he gets the ball back into his hands here, throws the ball deep downfield. Big play right there. And as they get the ball down inside the 20-yard line there, and that would set up a touchdown run by Woodward right up the middle for a TD. You know, Rouse has been one of the surprising teams so far this year, and they kind of hung tough with Leander, but it is the Lions who win it 21-13.
Elsewhere in Texas, let's go up to Dallas and take a look at Keller and Keller Central. Remember, there was a big injury in this one. We might talk about that one in just a second. But it was Keller and Keller Central. This is a great scramble here to the corner of the end zone. I love those lightning bolt helmets. I know you love them too.
Yeah.
That put them up 7-0 early on, and this one was tied at 7 for a good long time. Oops, got some Abilene Cooper highlights scraping in there. You wait your turn, Abilene Cooper. We'll get to you. Central and Keller still in action. Central leading right now 14-13.
All right, so Central up by a point. You got a little sneak peek there. Cooper and Abilene. This is a huge matchup out in the big country, and this game went right down to the wire.
It absolutely did, as we expected and hoped from these two Shotwell Showdown participants at Shotwell Stadium in Abilene. Lorenzo Joe, the quarterback, number 12 there in white for Abilene Cooper, hands off to running back Kerry Sims, who's got the right side wide open. Abilene would track him down, but not before he picked up a dangerous amount of yards. Lorenzo Joe would polish off that drive with the zone read right up the gut over the goal line. But it was Abilene that charged back and stole this one at the end, 31-27. With under 10 seconds left to go, Evan Abbey, touchdown pass, wins it for the Eagles.
Huge win for Abilene. All right, let's keep moving through the Piney Woods now. Kilgore and Bullard, another big game out in the Piney Woods. Another awesome affair as give you some early highlights here from this game. Touchdown right up the gut there.
And most people were thinking Kilgore was going to win this one, but Bullard was out to prove that they belong in 16-3A, the District of Doom. And look at that, an uncorked throw, and that is a beautiful throw, I might add, for Kilgore. Big touchdown pass right there. Kilgore's quarterback once again standing strong in the pocket, and a rifle. This one, however, not so fortunate. Picked off by Bullard. This one would be returned out to pretty close to the red zone. That would lead to a blocked Bullard field goal. Kilgore would recover. Kind of elementary after that anyway, really, if you're not going to return it. Kilgore, quarterback again, looking under center. Big slant route across the middle of the field. In for the touchdown. Kilgore would be your eventual winner, 27-14. But Bullard proves they can play with these teams.
How about East Texas, Gladewater and Spring Hill?
You like upsets?
I do.
You like upsets? Because
Sure.
you got one brewing right here between Spring Hill and Gladewater. These Gladewater Bears, they've been pounding the ball so well all season long in the run game, but it's Spring Hill actually that would play well today. An interception there by Gladewater would stymie that Spring Hill offense early. Gladewater back on offense. Speaking of interceptions, how about another one?
Beauty.
Screen pass tipped and picked off by the Spring Hill defense, who was feisty. And when I say feisty, I mean it. They were feisty all night long. Big run right here. A lot of people made miss. Spring Hill would be your eventual winner, 10-6. A wild night in 16-3A as Gilmer narrowly edges their Chapel Hill tonight as well.
All right, how about that Greater Houston area, the number 1 team in Class 4A? We talked about Pearland Dawson. This was a wild game against Texas City. How about Texas City, though? I mean, not intimidated by Pearland Dawson, running the football like they do very well over there. The Stingarees moving the ball on ground. And, I know it doesn't sound like when we eventually show you this final score that they played great defense, but they really did. They were kind of hanging with Dawson, and they kept the score very low in respect.
Yeah, this was not Baylor, West Virginia from a couple weeks ago. This was just superior offense at times, especially in the ground game, superior blocking, and some great talents, notably running back James White for Pearland Dawson. And he had a great night tonight as well. Texas City went for the onside kick right at the end. Late drama, but recovered by Pearland Dawson. Returned for 3 or 4 yards, guys down, ball game over. Pearland Dawson a winner, 32-29, and Texas City shows they're not scared of anybody.
Yeah, like I said, some good defense right there. Earlier there was an injury earlier in the game. We talked about Keller and Central. Let's check in with Doug Anderson right now and get some play-by-play and find out what's going on down there. Doug? Keller and Central. Central was leading at 14-13 when we last checked late. We're checking in with Doug Anderson now. We'll get back to it. But, so Central was leading that game 14-13. There was an injury in that game early on, and enough to slow things down. They stopped the game for a while. Ambulance was brought out onto the field. Kind of a scary moment for the Keller Indians.
Right. There's another one in Austin, too. You can check out statesman.com. I'm sure they'll have more on that tonight.
Okay, Fox Football Friday will continue in just a moment. We'll be right back here in Denison. All right, strong finish.
All right, Jeff, what sponsor element do you want, buddy? Okay. Do we have any coaches on the horn? Did you get Chris Gilbert from Lancaster?
Can we cherry pick anything from Angela's interview?
Oh, shoot. I'm racking my brain, not coming up with anything. If we can get someone on the horn, great, but if we're going to do Ford, I'm going to talk about a guy that played for Little Elm tonight. I have all the numbers in front of me for him, so we can do that one right off the top. Okay. I'm going to talk about a player who was not in this game. Yep, I'll just talk over it.
My little Ford sheet.
Oh, Rangers lost.
Ooh.
Life sucks and then you die.
Do you want me to do the Ford read or anything?
Yeah, I mean, if you got it from the live script still.
Mm-hmm.
San Angelo Central beat Midland 43-42.
Ooh, wow. We should have highlights of that game. You hear that, Jeff? San Angelo Central.
All right, the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week. Guys, I don't have a vote, but if I was looking for one, it would go out to the Little Elm running back who just went bonkers tonight. 343 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. Here's the ringer, Jeff. They all came in the first half for this kid. Keenan was his name. He had a great night. They didn't play him in the second half because the game was already out of hand, but 343 yards, 5 touchdowns in the first half, including a big one for 75 yards.
Hey, be sure and join us each and every Saturday morning at 8:30 right here on Fox Sports Southwest as we highlight the Built Ford Tough Player of the Week winners. You can also watch our show online at playeroftheweek.com, powered by your Texas Ford dealers.
That's Keon Kenner, was the kid for Little Elm. Great showing by him tonight.
Hey, some other games that are just kind of rolling in here, some final scores. I was just looking at this San Angelo Central Midland game. That game went back and forth all night long.
Kidding.
At one point, Central trailed in this game 35-14. Let's go and roll some highlights here. I'll show you what I was talking about here. But Central was trailing in this game to Midland 35-14, and they started fighting their way back into the game. Of course, Midland in the purple and gold here. Central on the move, trying to make some things happen and get back into this ball game.
Oh, no.
Look at that. Was that a shoe or a ball?
I'm not sure what happened. That's quarterback Mickey Scott, number 1 for San Angelo Central. You see him, a great scrambler, a dual threat guy. Ooh, wow, great spin move, too.
Hey, listen
make
to
the
this
guy miss.
number with Scott, by the way. 37 of 50, 2 touchdowns, 341 yards. passing, 72 rushing yards, 3 TDs on the ground. So as you can see, Central was kind of fighting their way back into this game. They had actually tied it up 35 all. Then Midland went back out in front, 42-35. So it was one of those kind of games, back and forth all night long. In the end, it's San Angelo Central who ends up winning it by a final score of 43-42. So what a big comeback victory for them.
And a big win for them overall. Let's go down to the Hill Country where Lake Travis was wrapped up in a good one with Austin Bowie. That's right, the Cavs who struggled the past couple weeks, Jeff.
Yeah, great game down there. Baker Mayfield with the pass here to Varshawn Nixon. Look at that little stiff arm right there. Nixon is so elusive at times. Check out the play right here. Mayfield handing the ball off to Nixon, and Nixon once again racing to the outside, scores the touchdown. He's going to be huge for Lake Travis as they have moved this up into 5A this year. They're trying to establish that ground game. They've had a good defense the last couple of years. 7-0 right there. Bowie's quarterback Dante Harris finds Josh Subi across the middle. Good pass play connection right there. That would lead to a Bryson Hoskins touchdown run. It was all tied up at 7. And then Bowie actually led this game at the break. Steve Johnson added a touchdown. It was 14-7. Lake Travis tied it up to start the third quarter at 14-all. The game kind of went back and forth, but then Lake Travis ends up winning it in the end by a final score of 24-14. So Lake Travis will still only one loss this season to A&M Consolidated as they are rolling now in district play.
Let's check in with Doug Anderson now, who was on scene at Keller Central. Doug, tell us a little bit about what's happening out there in Keller.
Well, we just wrapped up here as Central picks up their first district victory of the year in 4-5A with a 14-13 win over the Keller Indians. Sophomore quarterback Jake McClurg, 15 of 26 tonight for 205 yards. He had a touchdown passing and one on the ground, showing off some nice dual threat skills. Only a sophomore, he's in charge of leading this Central team who bounces back from a 59-0 loss at the hands of South Lake Carroll last week. Meanwhile, Keller still undefeated under still winless rather, under first-year head coach Carl Strelo, but they are showing signs of improvement. They played a tough game defensively tonight, and it was a heartbreaker for them as they were down by a touchdown, and Dalton Mills, who ran for 168 yards tonight for the Indians, scored his second touchdown of the night with 43 seconds left in the game to make it 14-13. They line up for the extra point, and holder Kyle Snyder mishandles the snap. The extra point attempt is a failure, and the Chargers pull off the victory tonight, 14-13 over crosstown rival, the Keller Indians. A tough night for the Indians, but they're showing signs of improvement. Meanwhile, the Chargers, who are a playoff team for the first time in their history last year, are starting to get their rhythm now, and they are 1-1 in district play. This district, of course, it features the Carroll Dragons. They're everybody's favorite for this district, but after that, it's wide open for those remaining 3 playoff spots.
All right, Doug, I got to jump in on you.
A good chance at it.
I got to jump in on you, Doug. Thanks for that report. The Fred Loya Live Insurance quote of the night. A good game out there in Keller, Jeff. A lot of action around the state tonight, though, elsewhere.
Yeah, so Central 14-13. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back to wrap things up. Fox Football Friday continuing from here in Denison. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I wanted to get that question in too, but he just kept going. All right, Jeff, the only one we got left to do is Academy for the play of the night. Let's do that little screen dump-off pass from Sherman. That was a touchdown to Trey Mask when they were coming right behind us here. I want to say that was first half that made it 21-something. It was the dump-off pass to Trey Mask. He ran it in for a touchdown after the short little dump-off screen. Sherman, yes. I believe it made it 21-14. I think it 34.
Oh, here.
Trey Mask.
Yep. T-R-E. No Y. M-A-S-K. Number
yes,
34.
Sir. No, it's not this one. We can use that one, but it's not. Try this one. I think this is it.
Yep.
This is it.
Pass,
yeah.
Yep.
That's it. Got it. Good job. We're not going to have much time here, are we, Jeff?
That's our play of the night.
This may be the only thing we get in this segment. We're going to be really, really tight. Okay.
Montgomery
and
hosting Brenham.
Yeah.
They don't just play golf.
Football Friday Overtime is presented by your Texas Ford dealers. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck event at your Texas Ford dealer. Enjoy huge savings on America's best-selling truck for 35 years running. Ford is the best in Texas. By Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Wendy's. Be bold with Wendy's Asiago Ranch Chicken Club in spicy, home style, or grill. Try one today. And by FredLoya.com.
Alrighty, Sherman defeats Denison 42-21. Welcome back to Fox Football Friday. It's the overtime. Jeff Power, Travis Stewart. How about our play of the week? What do you got?
Our Academy play of the night goes to running back Trey Mask for Sherman, who turned a short little screen route here into about 9 broken tackles and a really big touchdown right before halftime. Trey Mask, the Academy right stuff play of the night. Way to go, kid. He had a big night tonight, too, by the way.
Yeah, 6 feet, 195 pounds. Can play defense, too. Good job right there by Trey Mask. So 42-21, Sherman wins the Battle of the Axe for the 3rd straight year.
And that's a big one for them, Jeff. Talk about last night, or where we're going to be next week a little bit.
Montgomery will take Montgomery will battle the Brenham Cubs, so it's the Bears and the Cubs. That ought to be pretty interesting. And final thoughts: Abilene winning over Abilene Cooper, that was huge, and also the big comeback from San Angelo Central over Midland, that was impressive.
District 2-5A was the place to be. 3 big games tonight. All of them were 1-possession games, including Permian beating Amarillo Tascosa to stay alive in that district race.
Yeah, good for Mojo, a good win for them. So again, that 43-42 final, Central over Midland. That was the wild game of the night, and Cooper defeating Abilene on what ended up only being 3 seconds left when they scored their touchdown. That was pretty wild, too.
On a pass that could have been intercepted. And remember, this just proves how important district play is going to be. For Abilene and Abilene Cooper, maybe not. They should both be in the playoffs anyway. But for San Angelo Central and Midland, those are 2 teams that could end up sitting right on the bubble come Week 9, Week 10. That win that Central earned tonight could end up being the make or break point for them later on in the season.
And they were down 3 touchdowns.
35-14, something like that. It was very impressive.
All right, quickly, Montgomery, that's where we'll be next week as they will host Brenham. So we will see you next week from the greater Houston area, Fox Football Friday. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being with us. We'll catch you next week.